There we go. Hello, hello. Hi. Why is my... Oh, mic is working. I'm just blind. Alright, cool. Chat should be up as well. Oh. Thank you for the lecture, have a good day at work. Blah, blah, blah. Bye. Fucking Christ. Why, Trivix? Love you too, buddy. Bruh, why? Oh my god, 3 months. You're wasting money on this, man. Love you too, buddy. Trivix. It's always a waste. Always. There you go. We can have me on screen while we talk. I was not expecting a fucking sub. I was trying to look at other things, so I barely even saw your message. Yeah, today will be chapter 16 and 17, maybe even 18 if I feel up to it. There's also going to be another stream tomorrow because, yes. Is the week over? Can I get the new I can get the new skins after today, so we'll see if we can get to play Overwatch, or literally anything at all. But yeah, that'll be what's tomorrow's stream. Actually, I should add chat to numbers. Chapter 16 to chapter 17. Yeah. Basically, that's what we'll be doing. Reading books today. No music. Just reading. I think it's F3. Nope, that didn't work. Did that work? It did work. I just alt tabbed somewhere else. All right, cool. Yeah, we're on chapter 16. Just gonna bring up chat as well, so I have that open for me right here. Yeah. Also, thank you, Nat, for the follow from last time, 8 days ago. Yeah, I don't know. I have a feeling I didn't download the VOD from last time, so I'll have to upload that as well. Um, let's give it a bit more till till Raiders reaches 20 minutes, and then I'll start reading. Also, if anyone under the Trivix is here, if you want to get some units done in Raiders, I would very much appreciate that. Oh, you know what? Actually, I can move this. I can move this here so y'all can hear me a lot better, and I can also be softer. It's also a bit more ASMR-y, which which I've heard, is good for listening to people. Yeah, baby. We'll also be having another stream tomorrow because it's a public holiday and I can. Possibly another one on Wednesday. I don't want to promise that one though because I'm not entirely sure if I will be able to. As that depends more on my mum than me. About a minute left. But yeah, today we'll be reading chapter 16, possibly chapter 17. Oh, I didn't have chat open. Who was that? Hi, Kyle. How you doing? Good morning. Yes, it's a morning stream for you, huh? Yeah, I was. I'm sorry, I'm late. I was watching a couple people play Overwatch on stream, and I just got suckered into this stream. 9 a.m. Oh damn. I hope you don't have school today. School? Uni. But yeah, I was watching a couple people play Overwatch. Um, I got very engrossed, and then all of a sudden I realized it was bloody fucking like nearly 10, and I was like, ah shit, fuck, and then I started opening up stuff, but I was still watching stream, so I got distracted till 11:30. um, uh, Listen, I do not have a problem. All right, I'm not addicted to Twitch whatsoever. I definitely do not keep watching streams, even though I say I'm leaving. Um, yeah, I definitely do not have the other laptop playing their streams right now. That's not what this is. I swear. I'm lying. Anyway, we'll be reading today. So people don't judge me any more than they already have. Okay, the alert on fucking Mi6 has gone out everywhere, so that means it's time to start. Oh man. Alright, so last we left off, actually, you know what, we should just go back to the previous chapter. Last we left off, Shane and Gabe had a big fight. Gabe, cosplayed as a comet. No, mate, no. Gabe cosplayed as a meteor. Um, uh, and then Chisini and Teal had a little bit of a fight. Uh, Gabe flirted with the professor, Telrin, which is Gabe, you alright? You okay? Um, and we got to see Professor Telrin being a discipline master, and that was kind of cool. Yes, and that's basically what happened in the last chapter. And we'll be going on from there. Bishop Antonio Darling smiled and nodded to his neighbors as he glided along the sidewalk towards his home in the last glow of twilight. The nod was nuanced and practiced, a full body gesture, containing just a hint of a bow, and more than a suggestion of I am never going to be able to pronounce that, so I'm just gonna just gonna
Ecclesiastical.
ecclesi-
Ecclesiastical.
ecclesiastical. more than a suggestion of ecclesiastical benediction. He kept his pace to a modest stroll that allowed him to appear almost to float, and did not cause the white robes of his office to billow dramatically in his wake. Some priests went for that, but he favored restraint. Darling's image was carefully cultivated, from his emptily cherubic smile to his exquisitely coiffed hair, to his ever so slightly effeminate hand gestures. Everything precise, everything calculated. Hi, cheese, how you doing? The neighborhood reflected his own facade, with its towering brownstones behind shallow, beautifully cultivated gardens, only hints of which could be seen through the stone and wrought iron fences. Darling opened his unlatched gate, closed it behind him, and smoothly traversed the path to his front door, observing the Happy Chinese New Year. Yes, that was Dad. He never listens when I say I'm streaming. Anyway, let's reread that paragraph. Happy Chinese New Year, cheese. I hope you have a good day today and tomorrow and the next day after that. The neighborhood reflected his own facade, with its towering brownstones behind shallow, beautifully cultivated gardens, only hints of which could be seen through stone and wrought iron fences. Darling opened his unlatched gate, closed it behind him, and smoothly traversed the path to his front door, observing the perfection of his little garden with pleasure. His door, too, would be unlocked. No thief in this city would dare have a go at his home, no matter how tempting it might be. Yeah, I did. I had a really good week. The reason I didn't stream on the weekend was because for Saturday, I ended up going out with a bunch of friends. Nice. I'm glad you're enjoying your break. Yeah, on Saturday, I ended up going with a bunch of old friends from Poly, Astro, and we basically hung out the entire day. And I was like, "Yep, there's no way I'm streaming today." And Sunday, I went and met an old friend who is studying in the UK, and I was like, "Let's have sushi," and so we that went that entire lunch. And Mom always likes to keep me for dinner, so didn't end up going out then either. But yeah, today I'll be doing book. Tomorrow will be the gaming slash just hanging out stream. Uh, if everything works, obviously. But yeah, anyway, I'm glad you're enjoying your break. I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm hoping unmuting the mic didn't spoil anything, but it doesn't look like it did, so it's good. Pausing on his step, only to return a polite wave from Lady Ansovar across the street, he finally slipped inside and pulled the door shut, blocking out the city. Darling took in a deep breath and let it out slowly, savoring for a moment the quiet gloom. His foyer was narrow and shallow, but 2 stories tall, crafted of marble and mahogany, Mahogany? Mahogany? Fuck me. How do you pronounce that? Mahogany. Mahogany. Mahogany? Um, do I have to do meaning to get the thing? Yes.
Mahogany.
Mahogany. In mahogany, with only weak light filtering in through the sole window high above. There were wall scones, of course, but the fairy lights were left inert. Price knew how much he enjoyed this little respite in the dimness. It was both a break from the overstimulation of his life and a line of demarcation between two pieces of it. Alright, I've streamed back up. Um, his butler, of course, was waiting for him, her timing precise as always. Good evening, Your Grace, she intoned quietly, standing at the other end of the foyer. Everything is in readiness in the study for your evening appointment. I have taken the liberty of providing a meal. It was positively magical how she could convey a whole conversation's worth of disappointment and reproach without altering her expression or voice in the least. Of course, she knew he'd not bothered to eat. Price was of the opinion he didn't take nearly enough care of himself. The bishop leaned back against his heavy front door for half a moment longer. Just a little indulgence. A few seconds' peace and quiet. Then, smoothly and suddenly, as if he never stopped moving, he levered himself back upright. Splendid. Thank you. Whatever would I do without you, Price? Sure, no worries, Cheese. Thank you for the lurk. I shudder to think, Your Grace. Whistling, he bounded past her into the hall and up the stairs, this time moving at a pace that did set his robes to billowing. There was nobody but the butler here to see, though. Darling took the steps 3 at a time, grabbed the banister to slingshot himself around the corner at the top, and flew down the hall to his study. Price followed at a more sedate pace, though she managed to keep very nearly on his heels, without appearing to exert herself in the slightest. He inhaled deeply of the lovely fragrance filling his study without pausing. His clothes for the evening were laid out upon his upon his big, excessive mahogany desk, with a sandwich rolled in pita bread for portability set beside them. The sandwich, he noted with amusement, occupied the exact center of the desk. Off to the side, a steaming carafe of coffee perched on an end table, providing the aroma that suffused the room. Suffused the room. Ah, coffee. How mystifying that something which smelled so divine could taste so much like axle grease steeped in hate. Darling had used the mind-enhancing drug as a secret weapon for several years now, being careful to indulge only at need and not build up a tolerance, much less a dependence. It gave him a boost he needed on the days like this one, where his double life disallowed the possibility of enough sleep. Best of all, it was a purely natural drug, not magical or alchemical, and thus not detectable by ordinary means. He had heard recently that one could buy the stuff in some of the more upscale tea rooms these days. He'd have thought it a more appropriate addition to the menu of shroom dens. Gotta agree with Darling here. I don't get how something that smells so good tastes like shit. I hate the taste of coffee. I love the smell of it. I hate the taste of it, and so I just never drink it. Uh-oh. Hey, Faye, how you doing? Darling roughly pulled off the rich, flowing robes of his office, grumbling to himself as he dragged what felt like yards of cloth over his head. He tossed it carelessly in the general direction of an armchair. Price swooped over, intercepting the robe, and deftly arranging it so it draped over the back of his chair without wrinkling. Such little concessions pained her. He knew she'd have it properly tucked away in his wardrobe the moment her presence was not immediately needed. Yes, actually, I did shave. It's all gone, except it's already coming back. I think it's been not even a week. I think it's only been like 4 or 5 days since I shaved. It's already grown back to this. So, so like, yeah, this is what I have to deal with, and this is why I don't shave very often because it's just an exercise in futility. Um, Harry's line of sharing product. Harry's. This shit. Oh, this is similar to what I use right now. Very cheap, very good quality. Fair enough. Ooh, sorry. Yeah, this is similar to what I use right now. I would bring it, except that would necessitate me leaving the room, and I don't want to do that right now. Um, yeah, this kind of shit. I use similar stuff, but I can't remember the name of the one I'm using right now. Gillette. Let's see if they have it. This is it. This is the one I use. Gillette Fusion 5. Along with the blades, obviously. Um, this also has like a little like vibrator kind of thing, which helps like get a bit of a better shave. At least I find it getting a bit of a better shave. Oh, this is the one that Dad uses. Yeah, this also. Yeah, yeah. My brother makes me use the I don't have it here, do I? Yeah, I don't have it here. There's another shaver that's like a big chunky one that's supposed to shave very well, which it does. It does do a very good shave. That really helps for when I actually have a full beard instead of this dinky one. Um, that one makes it easier to just shave off everything that I have, and then I go through once over with Gillette Fusion. Your Gillette stuff never compared to the new Harry's razor. Both, and Harry's feels way better. I'll have to look into Harry's then. Like I've just always been using Gillette because I don't know. That's what I grew up with. Um, that's what Dad said. Hey, you should try this for your beard, and I was like, okay. And I've just been using it ever since. Sure, I'll look into that later. Do you mind PMing it to me so I can remember? Because I will forget by the end of stream. He continued discarding his inner garments, which she similarly rescued. Darling stripped down to his skivvies without self-consciousness, though it had taken time for him to grow that comfortable in their relationship. Once Butler was, in some ways, more intimate than family. She had seen every inch of his skin at some time or another, and cleaned and sewed up a number of punctures and tears in it. Somewhere along the line, he had gotten over the fact that she was a fairly attractive young woman. It certainly never seemed to have occurred to her. While Price reassembled his flurry of cast-off cloth into a neatly folded stack, he plucked the evening suit from across the desk, carefully not disturbing the sandwich in the process. He could do without her passive-aggressive throat clearing while getting himself into the proper mindset for the other half of his life. She had pressed the slacks, in defiance of his explicit orders. The shirt, too, was new, a pale pink silk that he had never seen before. Well, it wasn't worth starting an argument over, particularly as arguing with a butler was a tragically unsatisfactory experience. At least they were his old slacks, well worn and bearing faint stains that were all but invisible against the black, yet added texture that was part of their character. The old tuxedo jacket was his as well, a little too loose across the shoulders and too long in the arms, exacerbated by exacerbating the effect of its frayed cuffs. Price had laid out his favorite waistcoat, the one in a black on maroon paisley pattern that managed to be screamingly tacky and understated at the same time. The final touch, the cravat, he draped across around his neck, letting its ends hang untied down his shirt front. This one was powder blue and pale orange. It clashed with everything else in the outfit. In fact, it clashed with everything on the planet, including itself. He kicked off his preposterously expensive loafers, plopped down in the room's other armchair, pulled over his worn old leather boots. They were of high quality, sturdy despite being more scruffed than black at this point, and began lacing them up while Price stepped over and salted his hair. It was a simple enough job, though he was always impressed that she managed to do it while he bobbed his head about in the process of tying his boots. Plus, the position prevented her from looking longingly at the discarded shoes, lying haphazardly across against the far wall. Oh, we've got a minute left on the Raiders, so I will stop here so I don't get fucking startled. Oh, hey, there are people. I was about to say we're gonna die, but no, there are people. Archers. Archer. Tank. Centurion. Buster. Another Buster. Busters are not good for sustain, but I suppose they'll do. Oh, it's past midnight. Happy Lunar New Year. Let me just. Alright, okay. We may or may not win. If anyone has a healer, please drop it down now. If you can, of course. Kamikaze is your only option. I mean, it's completely fair. It's completely fair. And there it is. The loud noise that hurls the end. I should just... drop that. Alright, sorry. You guys want to see the battle? I should have moved that spell a lot further down, huh? Whoops. We're making this, boys. We desperately need a healer. We desperately need a healer. This... Is this a monk? No, it's not. It's a tank. We're so dead. This fucking archer is saving us. Oh god, we made it. Oh lordy. Oh, we got one support unit. Nice. Let's move that to viewers. Right, Kyle and someone else that I didn't actually see won. We're going for this skin chest, I believe, so... You know what? I'll play well. Let's do this. And then we can put don't place on everything else. then vibe for both of these squares. There we go. Alright, get your units in for the next one, boys. Yeah, your bomber did something. They definitely went and smashed into a building. Oh, I need it. Alright. I have done my due diligence of wishing my work, what do you call that? The people who you work with, colleagues. Wishing my colleagues and friends a Happy New Year on different various chats. Alright. They finished their task at nearly the same moment, thanks to the rhythm of repeated practice. He stood, and she stepped back, holding up a hand mirror for his inspection. The transformation was complete. From scuffed boots to shabbily loud suit, to a nearly invisible layer of stubble and blonde hair that was now heavily greased down and slicked back. He looked almost a different person. It was as much in bearing and mannerism as attire, however, that personality was expressed. He stood loosely, his posture slouched and lopsided, lips always pulling toward a faint smirk. Smashing. Thanks, Pierce. Tell me how to place your tier 3 flag where you just dumped all your money on. You need all direction. Don't use a flag bearer, but if you want to use it, put him like somewhere in the middle here. Or if you have a musketeer right next to this boy would be good. A healer somewhere around here would be good. Flag bearer about there. Ooh, that's an orc slayer. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Thank you, Darth Splay. It's a great name. Anyway. Are you sure it's like level 3 instead of tier 3? Because I'm pretty sure you're talking about level 3. Yeah, level 3. Gotcha. World of Tanks. Fair enough. Yeah, I've not played World of Tanks. I know the jokes about it though, but I've not played it. But yeah, put him somewhere like. Oh, that was a bit close. I would put him like slightly further back so he can get them still, but you know, the range hits him. I see. That's why. That's why you said tier 3. Yeah, no, you can't move it once you've placed it. You can't move it once you've placed it. Smashing. Thanks, Pierce. Of course, sir. She set down the mirror and turned to retrieve a tray while he strolled over to the end table and picked up his carafe of coffee. It was always your grace when he was the bishop, but simply sir now. She understood. He gagged slightly as he forced the concoction down. It had to have been some joke of the gods that such a useful and potent tonic had to taste so foul. Thanks to Pierce's typically precise timing, the coffee was cool enough that he could get it down in a series of gulps, without having to unintentionally savor any. But it was not yet growing cold. For some reason, it was even worse cold. He felt the warmth in his stomach immediately, the growing alertness in his mind and senses would kick in about 10 minutes hence. None too soon. He could feel the weariness of the already long day wearing down on him. I got pinged? Interesting. Why did I get pinged? That's highly sus. Where did I get pinged from? Oh, it was Faye. Yep, that makes a lot of sense. Because of the Harry's thing. Yep. Alright. Nah, you're not. Don't worry about it. Turning back around, he found Price waiting, the tray held in front of her. He deftly snatched up the variety of items offered: several different coin pouches, 2 decks of cards, playing and tarot, a couple of flowers, knives for eating, throwing, and stabbing, lockpicks, magnifying lens, vials of alchemical solutions, odds and ends. Each he tucked away deftly in its proper place about his person. With this final step done, he was ready to go. Casually tying his cravat into a lopsided knot that didn't resemble anything commanded by the creed of fashion, he turned to the grandfather clock. Price cleared her throat loudly. You will find the Peter sandwich eminently potable, sir, wrapped as it is in butcher's paper. Ah, yes, of course, he said glibly, snapping his fingers and leaning over to snatch up the sandwich. I'll leave my head behind one of these days. You are far too fond of it, sir. Love you too. Don't wait up, darling. It's going to be a long night. Busy rescuing his loafers from against the wall, Price didn't trouble to dignify that with a response. He turned the hands on the clock to 3:13 a.m., stepped back as the entire thing swung away from the wall with a soft hiss, then ducked into the dim space beyond, lit only by a single fairy lamp. With the ease of long practice, he began descending the wall-mounted ladder down a deep shaft, not at all inconvenienced by having only one hand to use. Bites of the sandwich disappeared as he climbed down. Above, once he was past the lid, the clock slid shut, sealing him in. Darling had been so proud, when he'd had it installed, of his sewer access escape route leading to the second floor study. How original! How cunning! Nobody would think to look for a tunnel to the sewers from the second floor. He had fairly quickly come to the realization that no one would think of it because it's a damn fool thing to do. Anybody doing a thorough search of his room would find it anyway, and any parties likely to be up to such a thing in the first place would probably know exactly where it was going in. He had simply outsmarted himself and guaranteed a long, dark climb at the beginning and end of each of his outings. At the bottom, he set off down the path, as familiar with the tunnels as he was with his own chambers, and waited until he was around the first corner to toss the mostly uneaten sandwich into the vile-smelling water. Not that Price was likely to come down here and see it, and click her tongue disapprovingly, but one couldn't be too careful. Honestly, had she really expected him to eat while walking the sewers? The stench pervaded everything except his own boots, which had been alchemically treated to prevent it from clinging. He'd be able to taste nothing but the offal of the whole city. For those who do not know what offal is, this will disgust you. No, well, actually, probably not. Yeah, the entrails and internal organs of an animal used as food. Awful. Situated as it was on an island right at the mouth of a river, Terrace had an incredibly expansive sewer system. As long as it wasn't flooding, there was ample space to walk along the banks of the channels which flushed its detritus out to sea. This made it a popular means of traveling, storage, and other less savory business for those citizens who didn't care to explain their movements to the constabulary. They were left mostly to themselves, observing a strict code of not seeing one another, even should they happen to pass close enough to step out of each other's way. Only Imperial agents were met with hostility in this underworld, which was a big part of the reason they stayed out. He let his mind turn, getting into the proper state for tonight's business, paying little attention to where he walked. His feet knew the way. Oh, thank you, Blommy, for the epic Cybermonk. Ooh, Cybermonk. Where is it? Load. Thank you. Oh, you put him right there. Nice. You'll keep the Orc Slayer up. Oh, this is gonna. We've got three healers. Oh boy, this is gonna be a fun match. Except it's all gonna go down. Actually, well, it's gonna go really quick. It's gonna go so quick. Dupe unknown. I think these are glitch units. Yeah. It was dim around the sewer gate, rather than simply dark, where the lights of the city filtered in, and the residents of the little shanty town lining the broad tunnel had installed a few, almost certainly stolen, fairy lamps. Made of scraps of wood, metal, and canvas, its architecture changed totally a few times a year, depending on how often the sewers flooded. During these times, its residents led to more temporary shelters above, gradually trickling down to their gloomy home once the water receded. Those who weren't taken by surprise by the deluge. By the deluge. It was a sad and hard scrabble existence, a life led only by those who had no better options, or believed they didn't. They looked up, noting his passing, but without the sullen hostility these cast-offs showed towards most outsiders. He garnered a couple of respectful nods and even one smile on his way to the gate. The guard was one he'd never seen before, a girl probably in her early 20s, but with a grimy, hollow-eyed face, marked by acne scars and one obvious burn. She carried an improvised pole arm. She carried an improvised pole arm, consisting of a jagged scrap of a tin can bent around a mop handle and affixed with twine. This she leveled at his chest as he approached. "Did you told to use a great," she growled. "3 coppers." "Course, love," he said agreeably. The toll was, and had always been, 2 coppers. He flourished one hand, making a whole silver piece appear in his fingers, and tossed it through the air. "You're new here, aren't you?" The sewer girl nearly dropped her weapon, fumbling to catch it, but managed. She squinted at it, then bit it, showing the blue-stained teeth of a glitter shroom addict, then peered it up at him with a temporary glint in her eyes, blissfully unaware of all the opportunity she had just given him to disarm and disable her. "You can throw silver about me if you got more to spare." He put his hands in his pockets, shuffling his weight to one side, grinned at her, and repeated himself. "You're new here, aren't you?" "No!" barked a hoarse voice. And another woman stomped up, an ambulatory heap of old leather and scraps of fabric sewn together into a crude cloak with a soot-stained face and gnarled hands peeking out. "Begging pardon, sweet. She ain't been here long. You don't hassle Sweet none when he comes through, girl. He's good folk." She snatched the shorty polearm away. The younger woman let it go, frowning first at the bag lady, then at him. "Sweet?" she said incredulously. "As cherry pie," he replied with his best grin, stepping closer. "And just a little tart to keep it interesting." He moved smoothly into her personal space, despite her backpedaling, but only manifested a silk rose from inside his sleeve and tucked it into her greasy hair behind one ear, before hopping nimbly back and turning to bow politely to the older woman. "How's business, Mags?" "Can't complain," she spat to one side. "No point. Been some work lately. 'Bout due for a run off though. We survive, eh?" "Aye." He winked at the young woman, who was prodding at the rose with her fingertips, her expression stunned. He left her that way, swaggering through her gate out into the lower slums of Tiras. It wasn't a disguise, not truly. Anyone who had seen him up close in either persona would recognize him easily in the other. Besides, His identity was a matter of public record. The church knew exactly from where he had been promoted, and the cult of Assyrian knew where he had been sent. It was more about appearances, about mindset, and about keeping separate certain worlds which were mutually better off not interacting. Those who moved in the same circles as Bishop Antonio Darling would instinctively not deign to notice Sweet, the scruffy priest of the god of thieves, while Sweet's associates paid very close attention to the likes of the bishop, but knew better than to mess with him. In the end, it was all for the devout and the wealthy, so they could interact with the high ranking official of the Universal Church without troubling the effete little heads over just who and what was in their midst. Sweet strolled through the slums, whistling, and even though his shabby suit was a mark of wealth in this environment, no one troubled him. He returned cold greetings and smiles, winked flirtatiously at the women, no matter how worn down they appeared, exchanged respectful nods with thugs lurking in the mouths of alleys. It was all about reputation. The Glums, as the lower western ward was called by its inhabitants, was built right up against the edge of the island, in what had been a stone quarry over 2,000 years ago, before Terras was a walled city. Hey Apex! I'm reading TGAB, so if you do exclamation mark TGAB, you get to see what the book is. It's a lot of fun. I love it. I just read that last line out. Huh? um, it's a book that I really love. I got permission from the author, DD Webb, and yeah, I've been reading it. It's been great. The previous chapters are up on YouTube. Yes, all of them should be up on YouTube. Which is on the socials, I think. Yes, it is. It's all in the playlist as well. So if you want to listen to me read all of them, it's up to you. But hi, how are you doing, Apex? How are you doing? I really love your booty emote. Not gonna lie. Sorry, your love emote, not booty. I always think it's a booty. I don't know why. uh, how are you doing, Apex? Man Monday. Fair enough. Fair enough. You were in the U.S., correct? So it's not a holiday for you tomorrow, or I guess Tuesday. Because it's a holiday for me, Tuesday and Wednesday. So I'm planning to stream today, tomorrow. Well, I guess now it's Tuesday, huh? I'll be planning to stream later on today. uh, yeah. No, not really. It's specifically this book that I wanted to read. There's another book that I want to read, but that author just never replied, and I'd rather not do this kind of thing without permission from the author. Um, but they're good. Like I love reading a lot. To the point that if I open up my phone right now, alright, to the point that if I open up my phone right now, you're in Canada. Oh shit! All right, happy Lunar New Year. I didn't know you were Asian. This reflects badly on me. But yeah, here. All of these books. Literally every single tab is books. Um, books, books. So yeah, uh, I read a lot. I read a whole fuck ton. Really shouldn't read this much, but eh. Um, it's where the Egret comes from Egret Gundam, because it's a misspelling of Arjet, which is Latin for silver, and it's also what was used in Aragon, in the Aragon Inheritance Cycle books. It's the first word of power that Aragon learned. So that's a bit of where my name comes from. The Gundam is obviously from the Gundam franchise. You mean any type of books to read and make an audiobook or make your own writing book? Make your own writing and make it an audiobook. So I don't plan to read an audiobook because, or like make an audiobook based on other books, because, or even just write my. Oh, well, no, there are, I do want to write my own book, but it's more of like uh, a far off dream rather than anything. Um, yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I've never actually like written the book because I always get distracted or I write a little bit and I lose the thread. I do not focus very well for when I'm writing. If I'm writing ever. Um, I also don't think my idea is worth anything, so that's just imposter syndrome probably. I don't know. On the other side of the fence, making audiobooks is a lot more trouble than what I'm doing. I'm literally just reading the book. Uh, if I make an audiobook, I would have to come up with at least like a separation of voices. I can't just keep this same voice, monotone voice throughout. Not monotone, but like the same voice throughout because that's not an interesting audiobook. I would need to come up with voices for each of the characters, consistent voices for each of the characters, which I can't do even now. Um, and yeah, and I need to read a lot better. I can't stumble over my words like I do every couple sentences here. Yes, there's also the switching speed part. I would need to read a lot faster, actually, not slower. Um, unless you're talking about varying my voice for the people, in which case I do try, but I don't consistently keep it at that, which annoys me because I can't remember the voice I used for Darling, let's say 2 sessions ago. So that annoys me. That just makes me just. So I don't like it. Yeah, it's why also I don't have character voices for when I play D&D is because I straight up just forget what my character's voice should be, which is terrible, really. But yeah. Anyway, city ordinances prohibited building into or against the rock for fear of undermining the stability of the walls, and this was just about the only law enforced in this poorest of districts. The result was the result was that the narrow quarry, winding upward around the edge of Tiras proper, had the feeling of a cavern, bound on one side by living stone, and the other by towering tenements built into the rim of the quarry itself. Above, bridges arced overhead, both ancient stone structures that blocked out the light, and the newer rail lines, which were a source of illumination as often as not. During the day, weak sunlight filtered down into the gloom. Now, the glums were suffused with a dim glow of arcane blue from the richer flow above. There were lampposts, and even scones for fairy lamps instead of torches, thanks to the progressive policies of Emperor Sheridan. But those lamps seldom lasted long without being smashed or stolen. The Glums were practically next door to Darling's house. The chasm part of the view from his windows between his wealthy neighborhood above and the city walls. It simply would not have done for him to be seen walking there, however, nor, for that matter, would the sight of Sweet departing by the front door have been acceptable. He'd likely have been picked up by a passing constable. It was a good 20 minutes' walk at his brisk pace to the border of the district, and his first stop of the evening. There was a slanted netherworld at the lip of the gums, in the last 100 feet or so before the rising road drew even with the rest of the city, where the homes and businesses were in slightly better shape, owing to their custom largely coming from those who dwelt above. It wouldn't do to expose the finer Tyran citizenry to the real hardships of slum life and risk scaring them and their money away. His goal was 3 houses from the edge of the district, and the first of the large structures to have its roof peek up over the lip of the city proper, but not close enough to the border that respectable folk might see it and have to be shocked. Close enough, still, that those who knew it could get there with little trouble. Oh, freaks! Hello, how you doing? It's been a while. Happy Lunar New Year. Happy blah 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 blah. Happy Lunar New Year. I'm alright. I've been doing better this year. Been doing better this year. The Pink Lady was the only pink building he'd ever seen. It was actually built of pink marble, not painted, though its once fine stone was long since pitted, scarred, and stained. If the sign hanging above the door with the words of the establishment's name worked into the form of a reclining, voluptuous woman didn't clearly indicate the nature of the business, the scantily clad woman loitering about its facade did. As Sweet approached, one of the furtive looking men lingering in the area apparently concluded negotiations and hustled inside with a slender gum on his arm. His arrival was quickly noticed. Yes, very good. Thank you, freaks. I hope I hope it's been good for you as well. I mean, you did say you're good, but sometimes that's the polite answer. Sweet! Squealed a short, plump girl, hopping nimbly down from the banisters on which she had perched and sauntering towards him. The cry was taken up by others. They shifted en masse to meet him, like a flock of seagulls spotting food. Across the way, a couple of well-dressed young men who'd clearly been working up their courage to approach scowled. Ladies! He swept off an imaginary hat and executed a ridiculously elaborate bow to the reception of titters and coquettish smiles. The girls clustered about him, several babbling all at once, while the less forward hung at the edges of the throng, and a few new ones, who didn't know him, watched, mystified, from the safety of the porch. Sweet had never taken an apprentice, but if he had, one of the first lessons he'd have taught with regard to establishing one's presence in a city was to befriend the horse. It was often as easy as showing them unfeigned respect and friendliness, and spreading around a little coin without making them work. From such a small investment came astronomical dividends. Brothels were hardly a booming business in Tiras, or in most parts of the empire. People did not line up to pay for what they could get free. However, there were always those who, for some reason or another, weren't welcome in the Temple of Izara, and where a market existed, someone would take advantage. Unfortunately for those in the business, it meant that the clientele of a brothel were almost always the worst possible kind of people. Prostitutes led a harsh existence, and all too often a tragically short one. Their misfortune, however, made them very useful. They were often the first to hear of it when something truly ugly was moving in the city, and were frequently privy to the most interesting sort of secrets. The Pink Lady's matron took care of her girls by the expedient of hiring only girls she could afford to take care of. She served a niche market, and thus managed to cater to wealthy patrons with particular kinks, and the wealthy young patrons sowing wild oats, like the lads across the street, rather than the model of the drunken, diseased, and depraved who frequented most such establishments. There wasn't a human girl among the ladies' stable. Sweet found himself towering over a throng of dwarves, gnomes, half-elves, and even two full elves, both of whom managed to look depressed. Jesus Christ! Both of whom managed to look depressed despite their best efforts at the industry's mandatory courtishness. Ah, my lord, I forgot completely about the fucking stream raiders. Jesus Christ. Let's just put you down here. Ah, lordy. Yeah, just wiping them out. Jesus Christ. That guy put in a fucking thing and he didn't get to do anything. So sad. Hey, Faye, you got a Centurion. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Alright, and now we have a loyalty token chest, which will hopefully get us one extra tier up on your battle passes. Let's see. Uh, uh, there we go. That's some planning at least. I'm hoping with this we can at least get these two things down. Did I complete anything? I did not. Can I buy anything because of the tomes? I've completely purchased out that. Captain spells. Oh my god, I can unlock things. I'm gonna unlock haste. I'm gonna unlock high ground. There we go. Some more things, more options. Where's the message saying I started a new one? Hello? Well, if you guys want to get in on the new Raiders battle, there you go. That's the link. Huh, yeah, it said that twice, didn't it? That's weird. Yeah, the previous one is sent properly. No idea. You've got some nerve, mister. Swaggering in here like you own the place after we've not seen a hint of you in weeks, the dwarven girl declared, planting her fists on her hips. She smiled, though, and Sweet grinned back insolently. The others fell silent. She had seniority. Oh, what is this word? Fine,
Insouciant.
Insouciantly. Aw, Rose, you can't hold it against me. I'm a busy man. People to see, stuff to steal. You know you're the only one I love. This brought a round of guffaws and cackles, but Rose only grinned up at him as he tucked another silk flower behind her ear. Sweet continued handing out presents while he got the news. For the sake of goodwill, he had something for everybody. Candies and paper flowers, if nothing else, but coins for those who had something worthwhile to tell him. It was a time-consuming process, slowed down by banter and chit-chat, but all that was necessary. The girls were plenty accustomed to being bribed. Taking the time to be nice bought him the extra consideration that was his bread and butter. He joked, flattered, flirted, flirted, handing out his little gifts with amusing sleights of hand, and never groped or made lewd suggestions. They loved him. The big prize for the evening went to Ellie, a gnome girl who reported that she'd been approached while out shopping by the followers of Shad, trying to recruit her. Missy, the owner of the Pink Lady, had chased him off several times from pestering her girls, but she had less of a problem with them than the other bottles. The huntsmen of Shad didn't favor non-humans, though they made exceptions for half-elves and dwarves. That they were interested enough in a gnome to try to catch her away from the aegis of her madame was very interesting indeed. He gave her a brooch, A tin, a tin, a tin thing shaped like a lily, with a glass gem in the center, and a cheap alchemical glaze that made it shine almost like silver. Anyone with a shred of taste in jewelry would have been ashamed to be seen with it. She beamed as if solstice had come early. Little else was of particular interest to him. He picked up tidbits about the movements of other cults in the Glums and the richer districts neighboring, some potentially useful leads to follow up concerning business deals, was legitimate and not. Really, the things people let slip in the presence of Horus. He'd pass that along to the guild, serene in the knowledge that such careless players deserve to be robbed. The one bit of bad news was that Missy herself was entertaining a client, which meant he'd need to double back here later in the evening. He couldn't afford to wait that out right now, and couldn't risk her goodwill by hobnobbing with her girls and not paying his respects. There was a certain necessary timing to these things. The girls couldn't be away from their business too long, so he began making his goodbyes before Rose had to start hinting. As the others drifted back to their stretch of sidewalk, waving and calling all the while, he caught the dwarf's eye and tilted his head toward the corner of a building, receiving a wink in return. Sweet strolled off, paused right at the edge of the next structure, a pawn shop where even he designed to do business, and lounged against the brickwork. Some of the Pink Lady's girls glanced curiously over, but knew better than to involve themselves, especially when Rose sashayed over to join him. I noticed your new arrivals, he commented, nodding towards the two elves. They were huddled together in the shelter of the porch, miserably failing to be alluring despite the clearly borrowed dresses that overemphasized their assets. Aye, Rose sighed, sighing as she followed his look. The twins, Flora and Fauna. Seriously? Oh, get down off your pedestal, Lord Fancy Pants, she scolded, smirking. My ma'am didn't name me Rose, and you sure as hell didn't call you sweet. Unless she was trying to set you up for a hard time. Fair enough, he said peaceably, raising his hands in surrender. Also, twins? They might have been, he supposed. He hadn't spent much time around elves, and didn't find it easy to tell them apart. There was only so much possible variation within the spectrum of lean, blonde, sharp-featured, and large-eyed. They don't seem terribly excited. Rose frowned, shooting another look at the porch. The conversation was well within the range of elven hearing, but the alleged twins didn't so much as glance their way. They aren't gonna make it, she said grudgingly. It's been almost 2 weeks now. Time enough for even the most stubborn girls to start adapting. They won't eat enough, they cry every night, and they're scaring off the Johns. Even the customers eager to get their mitts on a real elf will shrivel up if she's obviously disgusted by them. Well, except for the few that are into that. But them two sure as hell won't play that up properly. Word's gonna start getting around before much longer. And then Missy can't afford to keep giving them beds. Fair breaks me heart, and me thinking nothing could do more. And me thinking nothing could do any more. It's like watching flowers wilt. You still know how to get me a message at need, right? You and that guild of yours, she grimaced up at him. You know my feelings about that, but hell, Light knows there's nothing else we can do for the girls if they won't shape up. He couldn't render this offer to any of the others. They would immediately want to know why he hadn't offered them a place with the Thieves Guild. He had actually offered to sponsor Rose. She had a quick tongue and deft fingers, but she'd been mightily offended at the idea. Apparently, to dwarven sensibilities, whoring was a more respectable pastime than thieving. He'd been too mystified to be insulted. We don't get many elves, but they've been some of our best, he said. Frankly, I'm amazed to see elves even willing to have a try at your line of work. Don't know what they're running from, but it must be a doozy, she said thoughtfully. I. Your lot might be a better fit for them after all. But you know what Missy will say about you trying to poach her employees. Why, my sweet Rose, you wound me, he protested, deftly tucking a silver coin into her cleavage. I would never so much as dream of hiring away talent she's actually using. If it comes to the point where she's out to get rid of them, though, you might remind her that a pair of dead elves aren't nearly so useful as a pair of thieves who think fondly of her as the one who first gave them a roof and a chance in the city. I might at that, she said wryly, adjusting her bodies. What they both immediately realized, and that Missy would not, was that a pair of prideful elves in a position of strength were far more likely to hold a grudge against her for snaring them into degradation. Missy was as canny as anyone in her business, but not terribly insightful or far-sighted. He gave her a cheerful wink, politely declined the insincere offer of a freebie, which she'd have punched him in the balls for trying to accept. Every society has it little. Every society had its little rituals, and proceeded on his way as she turned back to her work. Alright, taking a short break to drink water. 18 minutes. Put your units in. Couple tanks, an archer. Bunch of rogues. Nice. Is that not epic? Huh. Guess not. It looks so huge compared to like a normal rogue, but interesting. Ooh. Apologies. Where's my uptime? Ah, there we go. An hour 15. Alright. The island of Terras was a craggy, shorn-off mountain rising from the very edge of the falls, where the river Terra plunged into the Gulf of Punamanta. Rocky walls rose nearly 100 feet directly from the waters to a gently rounded plateau, having been severed millennia ago during one of the wars between gods which had left a number of such features around the landscape, including the half-sunken mountain of Last Rock. Triv and Anna trying to get you to stream with them? Go ahead, Faye. I've seen you stream before, it's fun. Then again, I was on the stream because we were reading something. But it was fun. Are they trying to stream Overwatch right now? Am I missing them streaming? Again? Because I'll be sad. I've been missing them very often. Ooh. What the shit? Apparently there's someone streaming from Chinatown, Singapore right now. It's okay. Apparently socialists won in Portugal. That's interesting. Alright, I got distracted by. You mean in general? On a stream last night, the basic. Ah, I see. Oh yeah, I did. I did hear you say that, because I was lurking while like I could hear some stuff that you guys were saying. I was like not really paying attention, but yeah, yeah, I did hear you say something about avatars. My name was said a few times. Yeah, I don't pay enough attention, especially if I'm like actually concentrating on work. But is it? Yeah, you know what? That might be why. Um, but yeah, if you do get a streamer avatar, what would you want to have it like? You probably want a fae, some sort of like elven type of deal. Um, because fae prince, right? Really? Did you not think of that? Okay, you have ideas. Oh, thank fuck. Oh lord, I thought you were like really a fae. I'd have been disappointed in you if you was. How much longer is there of this chapter? Not that much more. Thank fuck. Oh, every time I read a chapter of TGAB, I'm just like, it's so good. I love reading it. But this is one of the slower chapters in this book. Even though I love this character a lot, even though I love Sweet a lot. He's literally one of my favorite characters. Um, it just the first chapter where we get introduced to him, like his solo chapter, which is this chapter, it always feels a bit off. I don't know why, or a bit slow rather. I think because his entire chapter is slow. But I also think that right now I am reading it at midnight slash after midnight, and so I'm just getting tired while I'm reading it, and that's not helping. It's not helping with how slow this is. And so I'm just like, I'm also for some reason very thirsty, very very thirsty. If you have a couple more rogues, that would be good. Maybe a healer somewhere here. That's two archers, dude. That's good archers. Good archers. A tank, a vampire, and an archer. Well done, Faye. I see you. Our own little unit. Shoot to shoot soon. Sure. Sure. I'm assuming that means shoot the shit, which means we're gonna talk. Yep, shoot the shit. Yes, good. And we can make a pop further for references. I'm not arty. I'm not artiste. It's Anna. That's Trivix to a point. They can do art. They can do a lot better art than I can. Especially Anna. Anna can do a lot better art than I can. I've not seen Trivix draw in a while though. Oh yeah, no, I'm down to talk it with you if you want me to. It's just a matter of timing, I guess. Oh, you want to commission Amp? That's not a bad idea. Amp Amp's art is really good. I want to commission Amp for like my D&D character stuff. Um, waitlist is open. Oh, I did not notice that. I might need to commission Amp. Um, yeah, I love Amp's art for D&D characters. They're so fucking pretty, so cute. Um, uh, my usual artist is Daisy, but that's for I see comms are closed. Wait, this is open. Alright, gotcha. But yeah, my emote artist is Daisy, um, or also known as what was it, Kantara Gaming. Um, yeah, Daisy's work is good, but he specializes more in like design stuff as well as emotes, rather than like a full on character portrait like Amp does. Amp specializes in character portrait stuff. At least I feel like that's where the difference is. Um, but yeah, you can easily go with a PNG tuber. I think you'd do good as a PNG tuber, actually. Why wait till your birthday? I can give you a birthday present right now. uh, Maybe, actually, honestly, maybe. If I remember when your birthday is again. I have it. I have it on my calendar somewhere. Somewhere in the world. Let me go in. Hello? Calendar? There we go. How do I search? There we go. Now to try and remember what I've saved your birthday as. Did I save it as your real birthday? Like real name? No, I didn't. I saved it as Alice. Yep, you're right. It was under Alice. 18. Not gonna dox you. Uh, it's not soonish. That's pretty far away. February, March, June, July. Yeah, it's a bit away. In case you don't know, I counted extra so people wouldn't actually know your month because I already leaked the fucking day like an idiot. Um, did I read this paragraph? No, I didn't. Oh, well, well. I wasn't gonna dox you, but you went ahead and did it, so it's not my fault. Now, man-made walls ring the edges of the almost perfectly circular island, with bridges spanning the distance between them and the rim of the canyon walls to either side. The city was high enough that the roar of the falls, while constant, was not intrusively loud anywhere, and the river had never swelled high enough to reach the city's deepest foundations. Due to the stone island's poor drainage, though, the region's heavy rainfalls periodically washed out the sewers, which had been dug deep and wide after a long ago emperor had grown fed up with regular flooding in the streets. In addition to the bridges to the east and the west, the city was served by a river port in the north and a small seaport to the south, hundreds of feet below the city itself. This was used only for imperial business, as the spiraling tower of stone stairs connecting the wharf to the gate made for a nightmarish ascent, though the empire took great pride in this architectural marvel. A naval base was located half a mile along the coast to the west, with most of the capital's maritime traffic routed through the seaport at Entaras, twice as far away in the opposite direction. It's not address, so you don't care. Fair enough. It is still information that people can use to pinpoint who you are, though. So I don't know. Being in cybersecurity just makes me a bit more cautious with what information I give out, both of myself as well as of other people. At least while streaming. Although off stream, I can probably just happily say my name. Yes, therefore you should know better, Faye. Once again, not something I would have said, but you do you. Within the walls, it was often said that the poor washed downhill with the rainwater. The highest point in the city was Imperial Square at the very center, flanked on all four sides by the palace, the Grand Cathedral, and the main temples of Omnu and Eve. The pavement in the square itself was precisely even with the tops of the city walls. From there, districts grew progressively poorer as they sloped downward toward the edges, with the city's slums crammed up against the walls themselves, several being dug partially into the ground, like the glums. Around the gates, finer neighborhoods were protected by heavy patrols of the city constabulary and even imperial troops, so as to present the city's best face to those entering. Aside from those four peninsulas of wealth, however, the periphery of Terras was mostly home to its dregs, with neighborhoods and populations growing more respectable as one climbed inward. Most of your things analog rather than automated, and you keep a weapon near the door, and internet cables. He looks crazy. He plays camera. I really wanted to start EVE Online, and I just saw like what it would take to start, as well as just running the game in the first place on my laptop, and I was like, yeah, no, that's just not worth it. I wanted to get into EVE because it genuinely it looks like the kind of thing I would be interested in. I just the start of it is gonna be way too much effort. It's because I'm a lazy bastard. Literally, it's just because I'm a lazy bastard. It's because like I used to have a PC. I got rid of it when I went to Australia to study, and then after that point, I was basically sorry. Yeah, I got rid of it when I left to when I went to the army for 2 years. I think at least slightly before that is when I got rid of the PC, because I wasn't at home anyway, and most of the time I was at school with my laptop, and that was what I was using as my main, whatever you call it, my main machine. Um, so I just started using a laptop instead of my PC, and so I can't remember what I did with my PC, but basically got rid of it. Um, Continued using my laptop since then because I'm never at home, or I was never at home. And after I came back, it's been a year or so. It's also really expensive to build a PC right now, and I kind of want to build a custom PC because that is at least slightly cheaper. Um, Also, building it would let just give me more like experience with that kind of shit anyway, and that's kind of something I want to do. Um, Plus, I would get to stream that because that looks cool and shit, you know. But sadly, prices for those PC stuff is much, and while I can afford it, I'm always just about it because I don't really need a PC per se because I can still play games if I'm not streaming. Yeah, but I don't want to secondhand FB Marketplace because I'm lazy. It really just comes down to me being lazy. That's what a lot of the things I don't do come down to. Because I'm a lazy fucking bastard. And so I just don't do a lot of things. I just make things a lot harder for myself because I don't do them. Terrible, terrible person, me. But yeah. I don't know. That's just how it works. My laptop's actually really good. It's I don't have the model number off the top of my head, and it's not stuck on a sticker where I can easily access. You know what? Give me a second. Let me see if I can see anything. No, I cannot. But it's basically it's an ROG laptop. So it's got fairly good specs. Asus ROG. It's got good specs. I'm just lazy. Plus, I fucked up the GPU some time ago when I was trying to optimize stream stuff, which is why it's so iffy now. Um, which is why I can't play a game and stream, because I think I set something such that I can, anytime I start up a game, it just devotes the entire GPU to that, and so I can't stream using the GPU, which fucks, which sucks. So tada! This is my workaround. I don't stream. I don't stream games. I just stream reading instead. God fucking damn it. Oh well. Let's put haste up here. Look at this! Look at this group of rogues just running past everyone. I'm possibly gonna die now. Yeah, they're dead, and I'm dead as well. All right, good luck, you archers. And there are a couple people here. Oh wow, we might make it. That vampire's still alive, so. Ooh. Oh shit, we might live. We might live, boys. Never mind, we might not live. This tank. Oh no. Oh no. Oh my god, we made it. Jesus Christ. We very, very nearly did not. Oh lordy. Oh boy. Oh Faye, you got 50 gold, and Apex Predator, you got a bunch of shit as well. I'm already forgotten what you got. I'm not gonna lie. Yep, there's the message for starting a new one. Actually, you know what? Let me just quickly get the quest. War Beast, Templar. I believe that means I unlock a Templar. Units. Yep. Let's unlock the Templar. Oh, no. Great War Beast. Great Flying Rogue. Great Archer. Do, 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 do. 51 minutes to store reset. We should probably still be streaming then. Oh, I forgot to do battle planning. Fuck it. Okay. Just yeah, that should be good enough. There had been a time when Sweet's life consisted almost entirely of making his rounds throughout the city. Oh, thank you for the epic paladin. Where'd you place it? Where did you place it? Why is this not loading? There we go. Ooh, look at that. That looks so cool. That looks really cool. There had been a time when Sweet's life consisted almost entirely of making his rounds throughout the city. Each night he would head out to a different district, adjusting the quality of his attire so as to stand out for his jarring style without offending the financial sensibilities of the residents. As his increasing duties within the guild and then the church had commanded more and more of his time, however, he had drawn back his operations and now focused on the rim and the poorest neighborhoods, deciding that his time spent seeing to the bishop's business gave him as much exposure to the wealth and power as he could stand. He didn't even have the time or energy to go out every night anymore, and tonight he had some place to be. Out of stubbornness and the fact that even his presence would help prevent his reputation from fading further, he kept his path through the rim, circumnavigating half the city on his way to the guild's headquarters on the opposite side, instead of cutting straight across. He was careful to be seen, but kept his interactions to a minimum of the most important cogs in the vast machine of the Terran underworld, rather than stopping at most rather than stopping at every pawn shop, whorehouse, back alley, moot, shroom farm, burlesque, and hidden astride shrine, as he preferred to do. Just the sheer volume of greetings he received in return threatened to slow him down, but he pressed on. Still, it took a few hours to make the full walk. By the time he neared his final destination, he could feel the boost of the coffee beginning to wear thin, and had decided to take the straight route on the way home. It wasn't truly dark anywhere anymore, even in the gloomy slums. Many of them were sandwiched between the city walls and modern factory districts, where even at this late hour, the lightning of magical discharges crackled from the towering antenna, casting an eerie glow for blocks around and filling the air with their sullen snapping. Passing close to several of these, he felt the tingling along his skin and in his scalp, where even his greased down hair tried to stand up. A brisk business was done in some such districts in anti-static charms of variable effectiveness. What impact all the loose energy had on the health of the inhabitants was hotly debated in certain intellectual circles. But for the rim dwellers, it was just another fact of life. The poor had too many concrete worries to fuss about vague possibilities. Sweet had to climb a few streets in, near the eastern edge of the city, for the guild didn't lurk in the deepest slums. That would have been beneath their dignity. He arrived with the light but steady stream of more well-dressed patrons at a small cul-de-sac bordered on bordered on three sides by a sprawling structure of white marble that would have looked almost ecclesiastical if not for the brightly colored banners and the multi-hued fairy lights bedecking its surface. Jesus Christ. Though the people he passed on his way to the doors were mostly residents of even finer districts than this one, and dressed in a manner that far surpassed his own in taste and quality, he received not so much as a disdainful glance. It was unlikely that any recognized him, though again, some might. Regardless, anybody coming here knew very well what a shabby individual like himself would be doing in the place, and that it would be most unwise to antagonize him. Sweet tipped a wink to the burly guard at the door, who only nodded respectfully to him, and held the portal open, ushering him into the opulent interior without a word. The extremely well-dressed lord and lady who arrived at nearly the same time paused politely, allowing him to go first. Organized gambling was technically illegal in Terras, thanks to the pressure by the Universal Church and the preoccupations of a previous more moralistic imperial dynasty. The Thieves' Guild had encouraged this, for the sake of the monopoly it granted them. Even the Empire would not challenge the rule of a god on his own territory, no matter that it took place in defiance of its laws and on its very doorstep. And so, there was exactly one place in the city where the wealthy and the powerful could congregate to indulge publicly in several of humanity's favorite vices, enjoying the style of luxury to which they were accustomed to, and without fear of any legal repercussion. The Imperial Casino, not so secret headquarters of the guild, and the central temple of Assyrion, the god of thieves. Gambling, after all, was just stealing, on the grandest scale when you ran the games. Sweet swaggered in as if he owned the place, receiving respectful bows and smiles from the staff, and curious looks from the patrons scattered about the atrium. He didn't linger, though, setting out for the gaming floor, and none of the Imperial's employees moved to intercept him, even to so much as offer a cocktail. They knew his ways well enough to anticipate at a glance whether he wanted to chit chat or get after his own business. Even still, it had been over a year since he'd left his duties here to accept the role of a bishop. But these people were, after all, functionaries in a temple. They didn't quickly forget the habits of their one time high priest. Yeah, boy! Sorry. I love Sweet so much. It's so rare that we get to see him just like this. He mellows down a lot when it comes to later books, not just later chapters, but later books, because this is a long ass story. Um, but it's always nice to see this shit because it feels like, uh, to me, it feels like I'm getting to see his old self and like his character just coming back and doing random shenanigans again. Even though I know that uh, that's not actually the case. Like it's not that we're getting to see him come back. It's more of we are going back in time to when he used to be like that. Uh, I don't know. It's fun to reread a book sometimes, and sometimes when it's like this, it feels odd. Still fun. Not gonna lie, but odd nonetheless. I'm just gonna switch that so it's easier for people to place things. But yeah, I fucking love this book, man. It's so good. I love it so much. So yeah, I'm gonna be taking a short break to get water. I don't have a lot left. If there is anything you guys want me to do, I think I might put up music. Oh, thank you for the epic vampire, Faye. Where'd you place that? Oh, right up there. Oh, I see it. Yeah. It heals. But if it has a healer with it, that's just better in general. You should have kept it next to your other tank down here. Would be nice. Yeah. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna take a short break. Probably will turn off the thing for a bit. Yes, it's always good to clear the buildings, but the buildings are cleared faster with rogues, which is why I have the sorry, wrong screen. Which is why I have the rogues up here, so that any one of these rogues can just zoom past and kill these things. Because otherwise, these buildings just completely murder me. uh, Buses work as well. Buses are good. Rogues are the best because they move a lot faster than anyone else, or than anything else rather. So yeah, this map rogues are good to just chonk run in and take care of shit. But yeah, I'm gonna turn off the cam. Gonna go piss probably. No music because I'm lazy to turn it on, and also cause DMC anyway. What else? What else? What else? What else? Yeah, we'll be doing one more chapter tonight before we go to bed. We have been up for about an hour and 45 minutes. Sounds about right. We'll come back just in time to actually be playing this match. But yeah, I'll be right back. I closed the wrong thing. Um, where is video capture device? There we go. Alright, I'll be right back. Hello, I'm back just in time. Video capture. And take you off. Is that it? That's it. Good. Good. I still got startled. Fuck me. Cancel. Is there a bunch of archers? There are right here, so I'll do this. I'll put it right here. I'll start by. I hope this lasts a while. Oh, lovely. They all leave. Fucking wonderful. Oh, great. They're useless. The spell was completely useless. Oh, no. No. The number of rogues we had, that was very good. Thank you very much, people. Yes, happy ending is getting 50 gold as well as Fey Prince to bust this. We're going for this chest after this, so stop battle. Alright. Love how people already have them in good places. Well done. These might fuck us up actually. You know what? I'll put a row up top. Fine, 2 rows. Alright, okay, we can go get ready for... Hey! No, for new? What do you mean? What do you mean, Apex? I don't know what that means. I'm too dumb. But thank you, I guess. I don't really know. Something's up. Let's really quickly clear any messages that I might get. I've gotten. Alright. My ears, I don't know why, but they're like irritating me. Anyway, we can start with chapter 17. Once this is done, I can go to bed. It was a thing of beauty, really. Not the Imperial itself. All white marble, gilded furniture, and red plush carpeting, accented by stained glass and actual frescoes. It was a Fox Royal monstrosity on the inside, albeit an unusually loud and bawdy one. Sweet had little use for such ostentation. When he'd run the guild, he had frequently hammered home the point that anyone who flaunted their wealth was a mark, whether they knew it or not. A thief who acted that way was looking to change places on the food chain. Really quickly, water frescoes. Oh, it's a mural painting executed upon wet lime plaster. Oh, it becomes an integral part of the wall. I see. Interesting. Interesting. I don't know why there are places here. Yeah, so did I actually. That's why I was confused. And so I wanted to like double check what it was. But apparently, frescoes. Fresco is with a E. Is is a painting that's part of the wall. Its business was another matter. A gambling den of any kind was a standing long con, a use of illusion and social pressure to part people from their money without resorting to any kind of force, which, best of all, relied on the greed of the victim to do work. People who were content with their lot, who had no inclination to get something for nothing, or take an apparent opportunity to put something over to pull something over on a fellow citizen, were all but impossible to con. The richest class of the imperial capital were almost terrifyingly easy. Night after night they came, frittered away impossible sums of money on games that didn't even have to be rigged to offer them no realistic chance of winning. And every night they came back. It was beautiful. For the sheer elegance of it, Sweet could forgive the casino's ostentation. Besides, this place pretty much funded the guild's operations by itself. They were thieves, disciples of Assyrian. They stole as a way of life and as a spiritual discipline, and to an extent, because their presence kept more dangerous criminal elements from arising. They weren't necessarily very profitable. Sweet strolled casually across the gaming floor, navigating around roulette wheels and tables, hosting a variety of card and dice games, smiling and waving to people he recognized. Well dressed citizens, who doubtless thought themselves his social betters, politely stepped out of his way, and pulled aside newer patrons who apparently didn't know yet how the casino worked. He noted familiar faces and unfamiliar ones, and out of sheer force of habit, kept an eye out for trouble. The casino wasn't his to run anymore, but he couldn't help but do a quick visual sweep to ensure but he couldn't help doing a quick visual sweep to ensure everyone was doing their job. Only some of those present and working were members of the Thieves Guild. The men and women running the tables, definitely, as well as the girls chosen for their looks, who changed money for chips behind barred windows along one wall. The cocktail waitresses sashaying through the crowd, and the girls in lingerie gyrating on a stage near the bar were employees. Guild members were expected to have more pride than that. Many a thief had paid for his or her apprenticeship on a series of mattresses, just not out in public. The guards were a mixed bag. Burly men in dark suits, or the Imperial's red and gold livery kept watch throughout the building. They were mostly hired on, with a leavening of actual thieves among them to keep them on their toes. Several doors and sensitive locations had other sorts loitering near them, however, more shabbily dressed men and women who had in common a lean and hungry look that did not belong among the Imperial's clientele, some openly carrying weapons. The choice of different kinds of guards, helped the patrons differentiate doors they weren't supposed to enter from doors they absolutely should not want to try entering. Care for a drink, sir? On the house? Sweet drew up short, startled, as a tray of cocktails was thrust in front of him by a winsome dark-haired sorry, by a winsome dark-haired young woman who fluttered her eyelashes at him. Not one he knew, of course, or she wouldn't have gotten in his way while he was obviously going somewhere. Like all her fellow servers, she wore a low-hemmed and high-collared sleeveless dress that was almost painfully tight. It kept the waitress from being visual competition with the dancers, while making them nearly as alluring. More so, in his opinion. Still, he had no time for flirting this evening. Not tonight, love, he said with a wink, sliding a doubloon out of his sleeve and setting it on her tray. People to do, things to see, you know how it is. Grinning delightedly, she bobbed a skillful courtesy without disturbing her tray and turned, swishing off into the crowd. Sweet gave himself a moment to watch her go, then resumed his own trek. In a shadowy alcove disguised as a small grove of artificial trees. Really, the decor in this place was way over the top. Two men lounged on either side of an unimpressive wooden door. The bigger one cleaning his fingernails with a knife so elaborately evil looking, Sweet was sure it would break in half if he actually tried to stab somebody with it. Thumper! Sweet said cheerily to the other man, who resembled nothing so much as a salesman in his fancy but inexpensive suit and slick back hair. They still letting you work here? Give it a week, he replied easily, but Sweet did not miss the momentary tightening of his eyes, the slight flare of his nostrils. Still a lot of anger in this one, and very likely still enough to impair his performance. Well, it wasn't Sweet's problem anymore. They're expecting you. Go on through. The bigger man had straightened quickly at his approach, and now appeared somewhat tongue-tied. Sweet recognized him, vaguely. A kneecapper who'd been only just raised to the most junior level of guild membership at the time he'd left his position for the church. Yeah, it's an honor to, go on through, Mr. Sweet, sir, he added unnecessarily, sketching a clumsy bow. At ease, soldier, Sweet said sardonically. Thumper grinned with actual humor this time. Yeah, he's new. I'll work with him. Glad to hear it. Stay sharp, gentlemen. Pulling the door open, he slipped between them and through, into a dimmer, quieter space. Sweet strolled through the darkened halls more quickly, now that there was nobody around for him to interact with. At this time of night, not many people would be in the guild's headquarters on business. Night was when thieves were out in the city, hard at work. The relatively few who actually lived here were mostly at work on the casino floor, and most who used these offices to do businesses kept that to daylight hours. Here and there, he came upon a door with merry or muted sounds of activity beyond, or exchanged greetings with someone hurrying past on a similar errand. But for the most part, it felt like he had the sprawling space to himself. Yeah, I thought Fresco was a restaurant, but apparently not. It's just a painting. It's just a style of painting, even not even just the painting itself. Along an exterior hallway, hang a left, cut through a small meeting chamber, down another stretch of hall, then down 2 flights of steps. A couple more turns, and he was at his destination. Down here, the stone halls were rough cut and rounded from their great age. The Imperial was an old building, only repurposed by the guild within the last century, but even it had been built upon the foundations of a much older temple. Exactly how old the lowest levels of the guild's headquarters were, nobody seemed to know, but the stonework was as worn as anything in Terras, and the iron accepts corroded in some places almost to nothing. Down here, torches provided the only light. They could certainly afford fairy lamps, but in the guild's heart of hearts, the thieves did not try to make things easy or comfortable for themselves. That would have made for the weak thieves. The chamber he entered was huge, opening before him and plunging 20 feet to the floor, with an unrailed rim of stone surrounding its upper edges. Below, novices and some very junior guild members practiced a variety of skills: climbing, sparring, opening locks, all under the watchful eyes of more experienced trainers. Sweet smiled fondly down at the spectacle, but didn't descend the narrow stone steps to the training floor or pause to watch. He moved swiftly around the perimeter of the upper level to a door directly opposite the one through which he had entered. Apologies. This room, however, was longer and narrower, and also more cluttered. The ancient stonework was all but concealed by maps, charts, and wall hangings. Pigeonholed desks lined its walls, interspersed with bookcases containing ledgers and scrolls by the dozen. It was considerably better lit, with fair lamps hanging from the ceiling, and even had a long stretch of mismatched bits of carpet along its center, between the rows of desks. Most of these had been worn to an embarrassing state by years of foot traffic. Now, the room was unoccupied, save for one person. "Look who finally showed up," Styles said sharply, rising from the overseas chair, the only one with any padding or armrests, in which she had been lounging, and swaggering over toward him. "Afraid to show your face around here while you're behind on your teeth? Style, we gotta do this every time? The big guy gets the first cut of every copper I bring in. You know it, he knows it, the boss knows it. When have you ever succeeded in skimming off me? Save it for the newbies." "It's the principle of the thing," she said with a grin, then swept him into a hug as soon as she got close enough. "Good to see you around again, sweet. Damn, though, you're all gristle and bone. Doesn't that butless of yours feed you?" "Well, gods know she tries," he replied, matching her grin as he pulled away. Style was dolled up today in the Punaji fashion, with a heavy leather overcoat and preposterous and a preposterous wide-brimmed hat which bristled with feathers, plus giant clunking boots. Underneath, she wore only a pair of harem pants and a screamingly loud pattern, and several yards of ruffled silk wound around her breasts. It was a new look for her, but then all her looks were new. He'd wondered many times in the past how she managed to feed herself, given how much she spent on clothes. It definitely worked out for her, though. Style was a horse-faced woman, and brawny as any dock worker, but had no trouble at all finding men to share her bed. Living proof that it wasn't what you had that mattered, but how you worked it. So, good news for all of us. Seriously, though, I'm not late. Not very early either, which begs the question, where the hell is the boss? He's usually lying in wait for me. Usually is, yeah. Her grin widened, and he began to smell a rat. "Care for a drink, Mr. Sweet, sir?" He spun around, stepped back, and gaped. The pretty waitress who'd accosted him above stood smiling flirtatiously up at him, batting her lashes and proffering her tray, which still had his gold coin sitting amid the glasses. "What the?" He shot a perplexed look at Style. How the hell had this girl gotten down here? Style, though, was trying and failing to contain laughter. He narrowed his eyes, peered most closely at the simpering girl, then swore. "Damn it, Trix!" Style let out a bray of amusement, giving up the fight, and the illusion melted. The girl's posture and facial expressions subtly shifted, and suddenly he was looking at a short, slender man in in extremely skillful drag and a lot of makeup, grinning up at him. "That's another one for me." "You are a pain in the ass," Sweet scolded. "We know you're good, damn it. You don't need to put on a show every time someone comes to visit." "Oh, let me have my fun." Trix tossed tray casually down on a nearby desk and pulled off his wig, further ruining the illusion. I certainly don't get much of it, what with trying to keep all you goons in line. It's good to see you again, though. You know, you're allowed to come visit, sweet. You don't have to wait till we've got business to discuss. I know, he said with a grimace. You're not the only one with too much on his plate, boss. If I had the time. Yeah, the time. Trix had unfastened the high collar of his dress as he spoke, and now reached behind his neck, grasping a string there, and pulled. In a swift, oddly disturbing display, the false breast attached to it popped out of his neckline, and he casually tossed this apparatus to Sweet. As always, it's wasting. I will require you to hang out for a bit and catch up after business. But we better see to that first. He strolled off toward the closed door at the opposite end of the room, pulling a rag from within one sleeve and wiping makeup from his face as he went. Sweet draped the fake boobs around Styles' neck and followed, grinning at the swat he received in the back of the head. They strode through in single file, Style pausing to shut the door behind them. This room was completely bare of furnishings or decorations, lit only by 4 fairy lamps, one in each corner. Its sole content was a towering statue of Azerion against the far wall, surmounting a small fountain which gurgled softly. Gold and silver gleamed faintly within the water. The 3 thieves approached solemnly. Sweet pulled an imperial decabloon from within his coat, pausing to press his lips against the golden griffin inset into a platinum coin, then placed it gently in the fountain. Trix touched his coin gently to his forehead before dropping it in. Skyle tossed us, winking up at the statue as it plashed down. As one, they bowed to the idol, then stepped backward 3 times from it before turning to face each other again. All right, Sweet, what have you got for me? Sweet heaved a sigh. Seriously, boss, can you lose the dress? I can't take you seriously like this. Trix gasped in mock horror, fanning his face with one hand. Land sakes! He just wants to see me and all together. A true gentleman wouldn't stare so at my décolletage. Décolletage? A low neckline on a woman's dress or top. A woman's cleavage as revealed by a low... I see. Décolletage. A true gentleman wouldn't stare so at my décolletage. I'm keeping a wary eye on your décolletage, all right. Otherwise, Style will club me with it. Oh, for fuck's sake. This is like having kids, Style growled. Will you two settle down? Banter after the meeting. We've got shit to do. Right, Sweet said peaceably, winking at her. Then his expression sobered. Well, the news isn't great. Things were proceeding more or less according to plan. But then a new player entered the game, and everything's gone to hell. Trix frowned. Who? Ilal has officially made the opening moves of a campaign against the Empire. Styles spouted off a few choice epithets, while Trix's expression grew grimmer. You mean more of a campaign than what she and the Wreath have been up to in general for this many years? Sweet nodded, planted itself in the palace, and got very close to the Emperor himself. Then swaggered through a hellgate a few days later in a manner calculated to tip off Imperial intelligence and prevent the hands from keeping it contained. There's more, but it's sealed to the throne. So? Spill, snarled Stortner. Heal, girl. Sweet's taking enough risks to keep us in the loop here. The hands have some kind of fairy witchery up their sleeves. When something's sealed to the throne, they'll know immediately if somebody unseals it. Then we'll be as deep in hands within the hour. And you'd need to find yourself a new inside man, Sweet said dryly. It's a hell of a thing they're sitting on, but shouldn't affect us directly. any more than it will the rest of the Empire. I'll do my best to warn you out of any danger if it comes up. Anyhow, I hadn't even gotten to the best part yet. It seems the Archpope was the one who warned Sheridan about Elile being in the palace, and provided the means to root her out. So the church has counted coup, the throne's lost face, and now, oh, let me just fucking guess. Sweet nodded. Justinan's fondest desire is approved. The Universal Church is forming its own independent military. Stahl's swearing intensified. He had to raise his voice slightly as he continued. They have permission for a small elite force adequate to defend the church's holdings and carry out some anti-demon operations. Not enough that the church can take or hold territory, but it's something. The immediate change will be that the Imperial Army isn't going to be responsible for securing church holdings anymore. Justinian is one step closer to being his own political entity. 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 Entity? Oh my god, I've just forgotten how to pronounce this word.
Entity.
Entity. Jesus Christ, what's wrong with me? Justinian is one step closer to being his own political entity. It'll take him some time, at least a year, I think, to get this thing up and running smoothly. But it's going to happen. Sorry. I don't see how it can be pushed back at this point. There wasn't anything you could do to stop this? Stahl complained. He sighed. Apologies. I greased most of the wheels myself. Remember, I'm Justinian's inside man too, and I'm good at making connections. Even with Imperial approval, there were roadblocks in place. I managed to disappear a few of them. What the fuck? Stahl roared, his face darkening with rage. Oh my god, what the fuck? Sorry. What the incandescent donkey fuck? Isn't this what we sent you in there to stop from happening? This specific exact thing? And now you go off and... Settle, Stahl, Trix said firmly. Thank you, Apex. But he... Settle! His voice grew sharper, and she subsided, glowering. Hun, you know I love you, but this is why you're my enforcer, and I'm the boss. You don't have a knack for subtle. If Sweet pitched in to help this thing along, that means there was nothing he could have done to stop it. You didn't have to fucking help it. Yes, I did, Sweet said grimly. Because that game was over. We'd lost, and I had to think of the next one. Oh my god, my nose is killing me all of a sudden. This is how I know I've been up way too late. I start sneezing, and my nose is like, get off, go to bed, so you can breathe. Oh my god, the mucus. I hope you guys can't see a lot of that. Oh well. Trix nodded. If he'd try to get in the way, or even just refuse to help, Justinian would know that Sweet doesn't have his back, and that'd be the end of him ever learning anything useful, or being in a position to take action. Now, he's earned some trust, gotten closer to the Archpope, and might be able to throw the next round our way. She glared back and forth between them, then suddenly deflated, kicking the ground savagely with one booted foot. Well, just... fuck, that's all. Pretty much, Sweet agreed. The upside is, my gambit did succeed. I'm getting more face time with His Holiness, and he's hinted at involving me in something else he's cooking up. But I'm afraid I just didn't work fast enough or gain enough trust ahead of time to put a stop to this when it was still possible. So what's his next play? Asked Trix. Sweet shook his head. Don't know yet. I also don't know what security he's got. I do know he doesn't have anything like the Hands have set up to let him know automatically if he's been betrayed. That's Fey business, and the church refuses to have anything to do with it. In the meantime, I'm doing my best to make myself useful with smaller tasks that won't affect the guild or the big guy's interests. Just basic brown nosing, but it's paying off. I want to be in the best position possible when the next big thing goes down. Right, said Trix, still frowning. Keep me posted. Always. Okay, wait. So, Milan's up to something big, right? Can we use that? At the very least, it seems like it'll keep the Archpo busy. Trix is already shaking his head before she finished speaking. It's just one more hand stirring the pot. A clever operator, which Justinian is. Sure, Apex. Thank you for dropping in. I hope you have a good day. Oh, I hope you have a good time at work. A clever operator, which Justinian is, can turn that to his advantage. Remember what I'm always telling you about running a con? Misdirection. Anything that creates chaos is potentially useful if you know how to use it. Heh. I'll stick to breaking kneecaps, thanks. The trouble is, we don't yet know the extent of Ilal's plans, said Sweet. Not her timetable, or even more than the broadest strokes of what she actually wants. She's making a play for the Imperial government, sure, but my instincts tell me that's a feint. She has always been obsessed with the gods of the Pantheon. Right now, though, everyone's waiting to see her next move. Right, so when she moves, we move and hit the church. And hit the church while they're not looking. God fucking damn it. Oh dear, we didn't get a lot of people, huh? Oh well, let's put Hayslip right here. Never mind, we have a lot of people, it just wasn't loading. Alright, cool. Haste is a mistake there now. Look at that speedy rogue. Where are they going? Oh, to the other one. Ooh, golden. Who's this from? Apex? I think so. Yeah, Apex. Thank you, Apex. You get 3 Flying Rogue scrolls, as well as rods. You get 2 Musketeer scrolls. And then possibly the last one for tonight. You're doing with a skin loyalty chest. Oh, that means it's open. Yes, it does. Let's see. Let's go with an armored section line. Friendly supports. And then we can put vibe. You. Put nothing here. Oh shit. No, that's not what I wanted. Nothing here. Nothing here. Nothing there. Nothing there. Alright. Ooh. Fey Prince and Dots Play. Thank you for the flag bearers. Alright. Style, tricks it patiently. We do not have the manpower or resources to hit the church. You're talking about one of the most powerful institutions on the planet, with the backing of dozens of deities. We hit Justinian then. Don't tell me that wouldn't help. No other archpope has been half the pain in the ass he is. A direct attack on the church is not happening, he said firmly. There are too many ways we can lose and no real way to win. This is a game of maneuver. We need to weaken Justinian and keep him weak until he goes away. You're right that he's the problem here. Him and his ambitions. And trying a sneak attack on someone right when they're at the most alert for trouble is a horrible idea, Sweet added. Remember, everyone's on tenterhooks, waiting to see Eliel's next play. Maximum possible security by everyone, everywhere. No, we wait. When the next step of the game is in motion, we'll have to move fast. But it'll be a near critical mistake to move too early. He turned to Trix. With that in mind, wait till you hear about the possible other player getting involved. Oh, for fuck's sake, groaned Style. Who else can possibly stick their nose into this that matters enough for you to worry about? Naphthene? Fairies? Orcish Revenkreis? Arkin Twelrin? He winced. You have got to be fucking kidding me. Succinctly, he sketched out the history of the exploding girl phenomenon, including the presence of Elal's child in Telrin's camp, and the evidence of Telrin tracking the Demon Queen's movements. By the last meeting of the council, there wasn't a concrete plan in place, but it looks like the Empire's leaning toward trying to passively use Telrin to run interference with Elal. She appears to be doing that anyway, so it becomes a matter of discreetly helping her along. Risky, Trix said skeptically. Yes, Sweet nodded. But I think it's actually a good idea. If you look at her movements historically, Telrin gets really aggressive with people who try to put something over on her. But I don't think she'll fly off the handle at a good faith offer of aid. In fact, I think we may want to look into it ourselves. Too risky for my blood. Sweet held up a hand. Hear me out. At the meeting, I floated the idea of using the 3 soldiers who witnessed Ilal's manifestation as a peace offering, and General Panissar went for it. The Empire is stationing them at Last Rock, on the grounds of the university itself. They're putting troops on Telrin's property? Stahl said, aghast. She'll go berserk. This isn't troops. It's 3 guys who apparently aren't even any good at their jobs. They're being placed there under an old law that allows the Empire to quarter soldiers in the civilian institutions at the host's expense during crisis. Bad as that sounds, in practice, it means these guys will have nothing but their staffs and the clothes they're wearing. They'll be dependent on Telrin's hospitality for everything. In short, they are no threat to her. They're a peace offering, a little gesture that the Empire wants to open a relationship. And best of all, said Trix thoughtfully, they're an opportunity we can use. We can watch this to see how she reacts with no stake in the outcome. Nice work, Sweet. I do what I can, he said modestly. This means I'm gonna want someone reliable in Last Rock to keep an eye on things as they develop. The hell I'm leaving this up to Keys. Why? Sweet said dryly. You mean you don't find Principa just a joy to work with? Styles snorted loudly. Tags were both a practical necessity for protecting a thief's real name and a spiritual right within their faith. Upon elevation to full membership, a thief was tagged by their primary trainer in one of the guild's few actually religious rites. The working name thus bestowed would serve not only to identify them within the guild, but signify their approach to Assyrian service. Keys had been so named for her nigh uh, preternatural ability to get into, then back out of, places she was not supposed to be. And not just places, but situations, even arguments. She would pop in out of nowhere, and definitely weasel her way back out once she had what she wanted. The utility of this trait for a thief was obvious and considerable, but occurring as it did in someone who was allergic to authority and usually working her own agenda, it made her a nightmare for whoever was responsible for keeping her under control. Principa's assignment to Last Rock had been her own request 3 years ago, when Sweet was still running the guild, and he'd been delighted to have her out of his hair. Plus, there was the hopeful prospect that she'd irritate Telrin and cease to be his problem for good. The guild had a standing policy of not messing with powerful individuals who tended to be vindictive. So the only qualification for the last rock position was that the person holding it should be willing to not do anything, which suited Keys down to the ground. Now, though, they actually needed someone reliable on the scene, which complicated matters considerably. Based on the dark look Trix was giving him, the current boss had followed this thread of thought all the way to its logical conclusion. I'll find somebody, he sighed, running a hand through his hair, still mused from the wig. Got a couple ideas. Anyhow, unless you've got something else of crashing urgency to report, see, there's a little something I need to tell you. Oh? He glanced back and forth between them. See, now Style is grinning. That makes me nervous. As it well should, said Trix with some amusement of his own. We've been approached by a by an interested party, one who wants to open talks and asked to speak with you specifically. Me? You? The boss grinned fiendishly. And best of all, this comes with an endorsement from the big guy himself. That brought Sweet up short. Assyrian was a hands-off sort of god. On the rare occasions when he gave explicit instructions to the boss of his guild, it meant something big was brewing. I hope you're well rested, brother, Trix went on, because you've got another appointment coming up. Hey, that was a really short chapter, actually, huh? Yeah, really short chapter. Alright, 1.18, boys and gals. Whew. How much longer on this? 20 minutes? Jesus Christ, did I finish that entire thing in 10 minutes? Wow. You know what, this is also a short chapter, isn't it? Fairly short. Should I do this? How much time have I taken? 2 hours, 47 minutes. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do chapter 18 as well. And then upload a 3 chapter video. Or VOD, rather, to the YouTube. Yeah, this is what I'll do. Oh, but that's actually a really good stopping point, though, because it's the end of Sweet's POV. Now we're switching back to the students. Mm. I actually started reading the chapter anyway. Oh dear. You know what? Fine. Fuck it. I'm gonna read it. So, what do you think of my odds? Well, Juniper said slowly, It seems like either Professor Tolan is crazy, or maybe just wrong, or you just couldn't find what she sent you there to find. So, the way she likes to play mind games with people. I'm guessing the second one. Gabriel sighed heavily. Damn it, that's what I thought. He shrugged, scowling, and folded the paper on which he had scrawled his notes and citations and stuffed it in the pocket of his new coat. But I went over it and over it, and even asked that asshat librarian for help. Imperial law is absolutely dead clear. Anybody with human blood is legally human under the law. If I don't commit a crime, nobody's allowed to hurt me. The only way she can legally execute me on the spot, he said this last in a sneering imitation of Talon's voice, is in self-defense. I don't get it. She's setting me up for something. That has to be it. Maybe, the Dryad mused, that is the trick. There is no legal reason for you not to act like anybody else. Like a hidden moral lesson? So we're in agreement that there's a hidden trick of some kind? Well, yeah. I've got class with her too. He grinned at that. I like your way. But, damn it, this is Telrin. What's more likely, a hidden moral lesson or a hidden trap? I see your point. The fine weather had continued to hold. Indeed, it seemed the dry country of the prairie wasn't prone to much besides clear skies and a warm sun. It was enjoyable, certainly, but Gabriel was starting to feel twinges of homesickness for the interminable reign of Terras. Still, the company made up for a lot. He and Juniper were ambling slowly through the campus, not really going anywhere in particular. After the day's classes, and a further 2 hours on his part squirreled away in the library, poring through legal texts, he badly needed to stretch his legs and enjoy the fresh air. The company of a gorgeous girl in a short, sheer, almost skin-tight sundress, woven apparently of leaves, just made everything seem brighter and more beautiful. Well, the hell with it, he said, stretching his arms over his head. Amazingly, he wasn't even hot, despite the hearty sunshine. The coat's weatherproofing enchantment clearly applied to more than wind and rain. It's a sunny day. I'm strolling along with a pretty girl. It's hours yet till I have kitchen duty with our resident Stabidon. And did I mention strolling with a pretty girl? Because that makes up for a lot. Juniper smiled up at him, a mischievous expression that was more than half smirk, but it faded just as suddenly as it had come, leaving something like puzzlement hovering around her large brown eyes. Gabriel, I'm having a little trouble wrapping my head around all the customs here, and I don't want to offend, so you'll let me know if I say something wrong, right? And not hold it against me? Sure, June. What's in your mind? She bit her lower lip for a moment. Well, I'm just trying to figure out what to do here. 'Cause you obviously want to have sex with me, but you haven't asked. Did I do something wrong? He choked and very nearly did a spit take. Hey, Nat. Hello. Happy Chinese New Year. How you doing? He choked and very nearly did a spit take, which was all the more impressive because there'd been nothing in his mouth. And I think that'd be really fun, Juniper went on earnestly, causing him to trip while standing still. But I didn't want to ask you either, because there are rules about men and women that I just can't seem to wrap my head around, and nobody will explain them to me. Shane told me to ask the humans, but when I do, she suddenly starts ranting about feminism, and Ruda just tells dirty jokes. I haven't tried Teal yet, but she's not even into men, so I'm not sure what she even knows. See my problem? I sort of get that female humans aren't expected to be forward. And okay, honestly, it seems pretty silly to me. But I want to respect the culture, you know? Does that make sense? You came in regarding intercourse. Exactly on that word. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty good. Pretty good timing on your part. How are you doing, Nat? I think I need to sit down, he said weakly, glancing around. The nearest bench was 30 feet down the path. And now I've upset you, she said, chewing her lip in earnest. Darn it, this is exactly what I was afraid of. 'Cause even aside from the issues of what's expected of women, there's issues of what's expected of men. And I think that I understand, and that I think I understand a little better. You're supposed to make the overtures, right? It's the whole hunter warrior thing. It's very primal, and I respect that. I really didn't want to make you feel, oh, I'm doing this all wrong. Tired? Aw. But excited for GT7? Yeah, I've been seeing you stream uh Grand I've been seeing you stream GT something. I can't remember the last word. Gran Turismo Auto, I think. But yeah, I've been watching you stream that. Not always. It's you mostly stream when I'm about to fall asleep or when I'm busy. So I just kind of like lurk. But hey, I watch you. I see you. Oh, Archive live. I see this. I see this. And we just move on to live, damn it. Yep. Okay. This is checking that. Gran Turismo something. Yeah, that's about right. Bitte danke. Guten Tag. I'm assuming. I'm assuming I got that right. Pretty sure I said good morning, but I don't know. I don't know German. Um, but yeah, no, I don't. It's usually whack timings for me, so I just kind of lurk. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I said good day. Close, close. I thought I said good morning. Okay, well, hold up, he said, taking her by the shoulders. She was starting to look genuinely upset. Yes, there are rules, and yes, they're pretty much as silly and arbitrary as you think. But I swear to you, Juniper, no guy will complain about you making the first move. Hell, guys dream of being approached by women like you. For the most part, unsuccessfully. You're not mad? She gazed up at him with limpid eyes. Mad? No, I'm not, that. Favorite German word. Weltall. Pronounced Weltall, meaning universe. I need to remember that. I need to remember that so much, I'm actually copy pasting that into my notes server. Weltall. Weltall. Oh, Madam J's online. Interesting. But why do you want to share me this? I used to be fascinated by the farthest reaches of space. Yeah, same. I still am fascinated by the farthest reaches of space. Um, Still a bunch of shit that I look at. Like, for example, uh, there was a like in fact just this Saturday I met the entire day I was out. I was out with friends that I met at the astronomy club. So yeah, we were talking about stars and shit. It's fun. How deadly it is just makes it even more fun. It's not just how deadly it is, it's how deadly it is to reach it. And it's how deadly it is to observe it as well, because these days, we can only like uh, we can barely even like notice things with our naked eye, and because of the scale at which the cosmos moves, we don't see any difference. And yeah, that like, going to space is just instantly getting irritated. Which is why when they put up the fucking James Webb telescope, they had to make it kind of like ignore the background cosmic radiation and stuff. That too. Yeah, but to be fair, we don't get irritated as badly by our monitors, or we shouldn't be getting irritated as badly with our monitors. Because if we are, I should be dead by like yesterday. Um, yeah. Oh, I need to do Wordle before I end today. Oh, maybe I'll do that on stream. Maybe I'll do that on stream. Oh, thank Naya, she gushed, beaming. I didn't want to cheat you out of anything. I mean, I really don't object to being a first at all. In fact, it'd be an honor. Whoa, wait, what? Gabriel backed up, holding up his hands and frowning. What do you mean, my first? Yeah, I actually would really like to try that, she said brightly. I've never mated with a virgin before. I bet it's Now you can stop right there, he said firmly. I'll have you know, I'm a witty and stylish half demon from the world's most cosmopolitan. Goddamn, from the world's most cosmopolitan city. Girls go crazy over me. You really think I've never had any opportunities before now? She said, nonplussed. Okay. Besides, we went over this in your halls class. Same. Same, Nat, same. I would have been dead. Basically out of the womb, because that's when I started looking at computers and monitors and stuff. Besides, we went over this in your halls class, remember? When Ruda asked about witchcraft? Virginity as a magically significant state is an old wives' tale. It's nonsense. It doesn't make any difference at all. Well, technically, that's not really. Look, I'm just saying, if you're worried about offending people, maybe don't throw around accusations about a guy's manhood like that. Okay! Juniper raised her hands and surrendered. You're not a virgin. There's no such thing as virginity. But just for, reference, dryads, dryads are a species of nymph. So I have senses specifically for, well, magically significant states. What's magically significant to me, I mean. So, lying to me about anything sexual is pretty much a waste of time. Gabe got called out. He stared at her for a long, tense moment, then suddenly sagged where he stood, dropping her gaze. That's not fair. He said it wasn't really a thing. Well, Professor Yarnhall's class is about arcane magic, she said helpfully, which is a whole different type of deal. Nature magic is. Honestly, I'm not even sure I'd call it magic. It's just what we do. Sorry I snapped at you, he mumbled. Fuck. This suits the week I'm having. Why am I so good at pissing people off? Gabe, she said gently, I'm not mad. He finally lifted his gaze as she stepped close enough to him that they were nearly touching. Juniper was smiling up at him, amused. Look, I've been exploring the campus a lot since we got here. I know a wonderfully private little spot where we can go and make love. If you're up to it. If you're up for it. Gabriel swallowed once, heavily, then had to clear his throat before he could speak again. May I be honest? I would prefer that, yeah. I'm so up for it, I may have trouble walking there. Juniper laughed delightedly, taking him by the arm and setting off. He let himself be pulled. He's so up for it. He might have trouble walking there. Ah, fucking Gabe, I swear. Oh, my nose is so fucking itchy. Hello, Shane said politely, nodding as Trissany fell into step beside her. She nodded back, opening her mouth to speak, but closed it mutely. They walked in silence across the entire width of one of the university's terraces, before turning right, ascending a stone staircase and continuing back in the other direction, on a path that would eventually lead to the dining hall. The layout of the campus was unfriendly toward the goal of getting anywhere efficiently, a fact which Trissini actually appreciated. Despite the lack of battlements, it would be an easy structure to defend from invaders. The terraces and numerous switchbacks created ample choke points and opportunities to ambush from above. There were actually ways to get directly from one point to another, but not all students felt equally about squeezing through tiny alleys, crawling under bushes, and scrambling up dirt inclines. Neither she nor Shane had much interest in such, when it was easier to simply budget one's time to allow for travel. Forgive me if I am impertinent, but something appears to be on your mind, Shane said, her voice as calm as ever. Impertinent?
Impertinent.
Impertinent. Not showing proper respect. Rude.
Impertinent.
Impertinent. Her expression was invisible. With the afternoon sun still high, she had her heavy cowl pulled forward. I don't. I'm not good at talking to people. At least not at broaching uncomfortable topics. Do you know anything of the political structure of Tarnarsis? I actually don't, Trissany admitted, puzzled by the apparent non sequitur, but not ungrateful. Shane's head bobbed as she nodded. The organization of structures is common to all drow societies, as is infighting between them. In most cultures, particularly among Silithine drow who live deep, who live in the deep underworld, a house is a self-contained political entity. In Tarnarsis, however, our queen has reorganized the city so that each house provides one essential service: agriculture, defense, construction, magic, worship. In this way, Narsians avoid the constant civil warfare that plagues most of our kind. To attack a. That scared me. Um, let's see. What was that pick? Oh, about I'm ready. Right. Actually, this is kind of useless. I want to take it back. Can't take it back. Great. Can I do this? Would that take it back? It does. It does. Perfect. Perfect. Give me high ground like right there. Stop battle. Save me. Oh my god, this guy just completely wrecked face. What is this? It's coming. It's coming. Oh, it's going. Oh, it's going for all of these. Oh dear. It's probably not good. What does this do again? Oh, it's almost definitely not good. Yeah, look at that. It's so fast now. Zooming towards us. Oh shit, we lost. Never mind. Well, we lost, boys. We only got 3 gold from that. Keep playing, keep playing. How much more of this do I have? A little bit more. You know what? We can start this again. We can start this again, and hopefully it'll be a bit easier this time. Please put in units. Or we will all die. Clearly. Clearly that is what we've learned. What on earth? Why is there a spell here already? There's a spell there as well. Oh jeez. Oh no, I've completely broken this in there. Yep. Alright, whatevs. Yeah, I guess we just need to fucking live. So I'm just gonna put almost everything covered. And the remaining spots you can put some stuff to hopefully get these things so that big boy there can't just go around collecting them. Holy shit. We just got obliterated. Alright. Oh, thank you, Happy Ending, for the Epic Vampire. Epic Vampire. We completely got wrecked. If you have any legendary units, this is probably the place to use them. Actually, almost definitely the place to use them. To attack a house is to attack an essential point of the city's infrastructure. In the unlikely event that any matriarch were mad enough or foolish enough to do so, the queen in the other houses would instantly move against her. Interesting, Tristany said, meaning it quite sincerely. It actually did sound like a very functional system, albeit rather arcane. Shane nodded again. House Averia serves as the city's diplomatic corps. We arbitrate disputes within the city, and serves as the queen voice and face to the outside world. This is what all of my family are trained for, specifically from birth. Her hood shifted, so she faced Tristany somewhat more directly as they walked. You may think of me as an ambassador and a negotiator, Tristany. I'm very conscious of the difficulties people face communicating across differences in perspective, and trained to bridge those gaps. Above all, I will not take offense unless it is plain that you truly mean to give it. Please, I would have you speak your mind. Tristany mulled for a moment, selecting her words carefully. Shane made no sound to hurry her along. Last night, when I knelt to pray over the day's event, Ave manifested to me in the chapel. She grimaced. It wasn't one of the more pleasant conversations I've had with her. But, well, most of that is irrelevant. Of course, I'm ready to do anything she commands me to, but she, in a sense, ordered me to make friends with someone. And I have no idea how to go about doing that. Shane cocked her head to one side. Gabriel? I think she has an even lower opinion of Gabriel than I do. No, I was referring to you. I see. There was more emphasis and emotion in those 2 words than Shane normally expressed all day. But Tristany couldn't quite discern what emotion exactly it was. Fortunately, the drow continued before she had to think of something worthwhile to say. I have been trying, as I have time, to familiarize myself with the theological history of the Surf as well. But 8,000 years of lore are not easily condensed, and the Universal Church has codified much of it in service to its own political agenda. As such, I'm in no position to make assumptions about what you may or may not know. Are you aware of the reason my goddess is not a member of the pantheon? I. No. We really were never taught anything about the pagan gods, good or bad. Mother Narni just said they were nothing we needed to worry about. She kicked a pebble out of her way with more force than it probably deserved. I'm sorry if that seems rude. I don't mean it to. The expectations taught to us in childhood are a powerful thing. She nodded. My goddess said, specifically, that if I find myself opposed by a cleric of Themirna, it is a sign I should reconsider my actions. How flattering, said Shane with a note of wry humor. According to history, as I always thought it, Themirna was an ally of your gods during the Elder Wars, and upon the formation of the pantheon, she was offered a place among them. She declined, largely in protest over their treatment of Elal. Elal? Before the pantheon, during the wars, three goddesses formed the strategic core of the rebellion against the elders: Avei, Themirna, and Elal. At least, this is history as my goddess has taught it to us. Trissy stopped walking in sheer disbelief. Shane came to halt alongside her, without commenting on this, continuing with her tale. The goddesses, respectively of strategy, judgment, and cunning, they were in effect the mind of the rebellion, and each a formidable warrior in her own right. Remember them as the three sisters. Sisters? You seem shocked. Elal is the goddess of demons. Shane held up a finger. Ah, but you are mistaken. She is the goddess of cunning. Each deity is tied, at the core of his or her identity, to a concept, something which roots their power in the nature of the world. Elal is the queen of demons because she now resides on their dimensional plane and is sufficiently powerful to command the obedience of Hell's populations. That's hair splitting. The point is, Elal has been at war with the Pantheon and all its members since they overthrew the Elders, and then she tried to turn on the others and destroy humanity. And does it shock you so much that such immunity now comes from such closeness before? Your cult called themselves the Sisters of Avei. You address one another as sister, I understand. Is this so? Yes, Tracy said tersely. What of it? Just that you surely understand the nature of such a relationship. The bond between sisters is not easily broken, because it does not break. If tested more cruelly than it can bear, it twists, transforms into bitterness like no other. Seen in this light, in context of the closeness the three once had, does not the present status quo not make more sense? Ilal's hatred, Themirna's detachment? Avei isn't hurtful or detached. I think you know well how discipline and duty can sustain us when other motivations falter. It does not stir my credulity at all that the soldier could carry on when the judge and the trickster could not. Tristany was silent for long moments, passing these insights. Eventually, she began moving again, and Shane fell into step with her. Do you have plans to meet with anyone over dinner? Teal and Ruda usually join me, but it is not a plan per se. If you don't mind, I'd like to hear more about this. Shane reached up and eased the hood back, just enough to alleviate the shadows around her face and reveal a faint smile. You have enjoyed our conversation? And wish to have more? Very much. I think I could learn a lot from you. I mean, if you don't object. And that, Tristany, is how you make friends. Aww. Yup, that's that. Maybe I should not have started this. I thought we had more, but 20 minutes left. Fuck. You know what? Maybe you can do a Wordle while we wait. while we wait if there's anyone else who wants to get in units. The battle! Exclamation mark. Battle will get your units in. We'll get you a link to put your units in. Wordle. Also, you can also just kind of scroll up if you were already here. There we go, Wordle. My usual first word is the word that it was yesterday. I am hoping there are no Americans in chat because I've just spoiled Wordle for you. So H and T. H and T. Okay, H, T, and S. Anyone in chat have an idea what this word could be? So H is not there or there, which means it could be in the second or third or last position. Can't think of H in the last position, so second. What about AH? Because I know S is not at the end either. Dude, I've got no idea. Okay, so T's in the start. H and S. And S is not at the end, so okay, I found S and E. Found E. I didn't expect to find E. So H can only be the one of these. So T, H, and S. Oh, these. I was like, TH. Okay, so TH. SE. Thas. These. Oh my god, please. I'm on one letter, man. Oh, hello. Those. You're right, you're right. You're right. Thank you very much. I just spoiled World for today for you. I'm so sorry. But yeah, hello, happy ending. How you doing? How you doing? I hope the year's been treating you well. I hope a happy Chinese New Year. If you're in my time zone, if you're not, oops, I've spoiled Wordle and failed. I need to post this really quickly because that's what I do. Really? Oh shit. balls. I just closed the chat I was in. Or I had to paste this. There we go. All right. Doing good at the moment. You're from Europe. Oh, can't. Oh shit. That means you're not the same time zone. I've spoiled Wordle for you tomorrow and today. Shit. Fuck. I have messed up badly. Um, it is the first for you, right? Wait, no. It should be the 31st for you, if I'm not wrong, right? Am I wrong? I'm probably wrong. Europe, France time now. 31st, yes. Okay, I was right. 31st, yeah. Yeah, I've spoiled Wordle for you both today and tomorrow's Wordle. Whoops. Uh, I have fucked up. Greatly fucked up. Um, yeah, I've seen you put units down. I'm assuming you're here from Stream Raiders? Yeah, thank you for the Epic Vampire. We've already lost this once. We are hoping we don't lose it again. I can't even start this early because it is what it is. Yeah? Noise. Have you been playing with Angel or any of the bigger ones? Any of the bigger people? Or do you prefer like small streamers, I guess? I don't know. What, small captains? Yeah, this will be the last battle actually. You know what? That reminds me, I need to fucking put that in here somewhere. Let's make it auto ranged. Yeah, that's visible, right? Yeah, basically. It's because of Angel you started playing. Ah. But with her, yeah, she's been spamming the dungeons recently, and we do need more than keys. That is very true. Although the keys are really good because the keys are giving us where is it? Oh, hey, I got story set. I forgot the story set. Just gonna casually buy out the store. Keys give us this stuff, necromancer scrolls, which is why I think people have been um, rushing them, so that they can unlock the necromancer and any of the, then like up level them up. God damn it. Let me get that quest. I'm never gonna get that. Alright, okay. That's all of them. Got Necromancer level 2 thanks to her? Yeah. Yeah. I've got mine to level 2 as well, but that's where I got stuck. Although this is my captain units, so you can't quite see where I'm at. Yeah, look at that. 100. You need so many fucking keys. It's so many. I could just buy them, but... Oh, no. But yeah, I am struggling with this one. As long as we can get this, we should be able to live. I'm assuming. I'm hoping. Buster. Interesting. Barbarian, Bomber, Warrior, Archer, Flag Bearer, Barb, Archer, Vamp, Rogue, Tink, Warrior, Bomber, Warrior, Saint, Bomber, Tink, Archer, Flag Bearer, Vamp. That's a Warrior, I think? Yeah, Warrior. Oh boy. Yeah, we do need more than keys. Keys are not gonna cut it. I need to figure out what the various captain spells do, because I don't fully remember them. Boost the speed of all nearby allies at battle start. Oh, only for 10 seconds. Oh gosh. Buff range fire rates by 100%. Alright, okay. Armor defense is by 50%. Max defense by 10%. Okay. But it's only of armored units, it's not of everyone. So it's not profitable. It's not profitable. Oh, thank you, Faye. Please drop it. Yeah, along where my people are. I can do it here as well. Yeah, I'm mainly like these little slots are mainly so that you can clear the power ups, so this guy doesn't get them, because he got them last time around and completely wiped us out. Uh, so hopefully, with happy endings 2 archers, we can get at least 2. And with your buster, we could take this out. Maybe. How much damage does this one do? 65. And how much does this one have? 5. So maybe. Actually, more probably, yes. Then we have all of these to contend with. Which, who knows how we're gonna do. Who knows? Actually, if you have an epic vamp somewhere here, like, this'll take care of this. The vamp's gonna, like, distract some of these units for sure. And he'll at least stay in the fight long enough to maybe get rid of 1 or 2 circuits. I assume. Actually, all of these are not ranged, right? Yeah, none of these are ranged. Except this boy. Yeah. So I guess if someone can put like a archer here to take care of this buster can go up and at least blow up some of these people. It won't kill them, but it'll get their health down low. What does the surge do? Eats power-ups and zaps nearby foes as it passes by. Look at the hit points, man. 1,000. I don't even have 1,000 on my archer, I don't think. Yeah, fucking 24. Wimpy ass archer. We're all gonna die. We're all gonna die. Oh, we've got 5 more minutes. Oh, you placed an epic vampire. Thank you. Oh, I didn't not notice that at all. I'm blind. Ooh, Alpha GG tank. It's a good fucking tank. Colonel Sanders has joined the fight, I see. But yeah, this is your last 5 minutes. Last chance to get your battles in. Battles in, units in. Before the battle. Oh, and then we end it. And then I can go to bed. Because it's 3 a.m. I'm terrible. Without reading 18, so let me just change the title. So that's at least up to date. Push. Ooh, sorry. Oh, yes, Necromancer might help. Because it'll give us like a couple more units than what we actually have. Because of the dead bodies. Interesting, yes, that is a good idea. Thank you. Oh, this healer is not gonna heal anything. But yeah, Necromancer would help. Sorry. Yeah, that'll be the end for tonight, I think. I'm dead tired. You put other thingies for the scrolls? Ah, right. That makes sense. Oh, I think you just placed it. I missed it. Where'd it go? I am blind. This is true. Where did you put the Necromancer? Oh wait, no, that's a bomber. I am so blind. I don't see the Necromancer at all. Hello? Oh, there it is. Someone's undead skeleton warriors from corpses. Yeah, boy. 2 more minutes. On the top left under event. Yep, I just spotted that. Took me a hot minute, but it's hidden by my name. Oh boy. Oh, sorry. What spell do I use? Probably Stronghold again. Put it a bit more here-ish. Oh, fine. Another minute. Gah. We've got a minute left, boys. Literally the last chance to put units in. If you have any units that are not on timer or F. I don't know. I'm blanking out on what I'm trying to say. Faye just plays a Rogan. Which I don't see. Oh wait, no, I do. It's right here. Oh, it's a barb. Never mind. Not a rogue. I guess based on the skin. I'm sorry. 20 seconds. And then we can go raid RT, probably. Oh, or we could go raid Madam J. Because apparently she's fucking Christ. Because apparently she's streaming, and I'm an idiot who can't remember that people are good, that sounds happen. Let's watch these. Yep, that exploded. That's gone. Yes, that's right. Haha, sucker, you got nothing. You got nothing. Oh my god, it just fucking obliterates us. Jesus Christ. Oh, thank fuck. We have reinforcements. I mean, it's dying, but please be dead soon. These guys can sort this, but like, ah! Oh my god, you gotta be kidding me. Literally down to like 3 units. 3 units. Jesus Christ. Oh my god. Happy ending really saved us there. Thank you for all those units, happy ending. Holy shit, yep, you deserve that 200 gold. Ah, and that will be that for tonight. Thank you all for coming. Yeah. Thank you all for coming. Thank you, Trivix, for the sub. Yeah, your vamp actually survived. I need to not see what's going on. Yeah, your vamp survived, and in fact, I think it carried. But yeah, thank you all for coming. Thank you, Trivix, for the resub. Love you too, buddy. Yes, I don't think there's anything else I am. Fuck me! Jesus Christ! Fuck! I was just about to type Artie's name. I mean, sorry, Madam J's name. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for the follow, happy ending. You scared the shit out of me. Oh god. Yes, raid, slash raid. How do I spell Madam J's name? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Oh. There we go. Madame. Underscore J. Is there an underscore after that? If y'all don't know, Madam J is playing Stream Raiders as well. She also does crochet, I believe, as well as diamond painting. She's also Angel's mod. So if you know me from there, you'll know Madam J. Yeah. What else? I think that's it, really. Thank you, Happy Ending, for the follow. Thank you, Trivix, for the sub today. Thank you all for tuning in and listening to me read TGAB. Once again, if you do want to find out what the book is exclamation mark TGAB, as well as if you want to listen to the previous episodes I say, or rather the previous chapters, because I have read all of them from prequel till now chapter 18. Those are the socials. You can find the previous VODs, including the ones I've read in, on YouTube. YouTube has a playlist for specifically these books. But there's also just straight up normal VODs as well if you want to watch all the other shenanigans we've come up with, which is next to nothing, I'll be honest. Although there was that one time I used a balloon to talk with a helium voice, or I tried to anyway. Didn't work half the time, but But yeah, we are gonna go raid Madam J. Send her love. Send her units as well, cause she'll need them. Um, yeah, yeah. That's all for today, I think. Thank you all for coming. I guess we are going to read. So let me just switch to just chatting. Bye. In like 10 seconds. So I'm just gonna keep. Bye bye. Bye bye.